What is going on, everybody? How we doing? We doing all right? Good microphone on here. How we doing, everybody? How we doing today? How we doing today? How did the Giants do today? I didn't see the game. How they do? I didn't see the game. I was wearing the headphones over my eyes like Joe Judge does all the time. It's amazing to me. I sit here and I look at the NFC East, and I look at teams. I look at the Eagles. The Eagles weren't supposed to win anything this year. The Eagles should have won 4 games. The Eagles are in complete and utter disarray going into the year, and somehow, some way, with a no-name head coach and getting rid of their superstar quarterback and just making a bunch of moves, they're 6-7. Their offense puts up 30 points almost every week. I have no idea what the hell we did to that team. But I put up 30 points almost every week. You look at Washington, they don't win pretty, but they win. They find ways to win. No matter how ugly it is, they come out on top. They win games. Dallas, Dallas is pretty good. They're not great, but they're pretty good. They got a good team. They got a good defense. They picked up a guy in Micah Parsons who completely changes their defense. They got a guy in Trayvon Diggs who leads the league with 9 interceptions. They got a good offensive line. They got a good running back. They got 2 really good wide receivers. And all this in a few years. And here we sit as the Giants and have been complete and utter garbage for a decade. No way to fix this. We've watched every team in this division get better. Every team in this division has gotten better, except Russ. Every team in this division is in a playoff race, except Russ. The Cardinals were picking first overall in 2019, and here we are in 2021. They're 9-2. Or maybe they're 10-2. I think they're 10-2 after today. 10-2. But we can't turn it around. Not the Giants. Nope. We can't figure it out. 4 head coaches since the beginning of 2015. 4 head coaches. About to be 3 general managers. God only knows how many offensive coordinators we've had go through here. Nobody can stay healthy. Can't draft to save our life. This offensive line has been bad for 10 years. It's embarrassing, man. It is utterly embarrassing. It truly is, and it's really agitating. I don't know. I'm at my wit's end with this team. I've drank all these today. One beer for each of the wins that we have this year. All 4. So let's drink a beer. Salute. Salute, you diehard Giants fans out there, much like myself, that put up with this crap week in and week out, month in and month out, year in and year out. I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. Richie, thank you for upgrading, brother. I really appreciate that, my man. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. So thank you, sir. Thank you for being a member of the channel. Kyle, thank you, brother. I appreciate Super Chat. Thank you for supporting the channel, sir. He says, whenever Judge says right there in the presser, he knows he messed up. He's either lying, stressed, or won't take accountability right there. Yeah, I got to go to the tape right there, Kyle. I got to go to the tape right there. He don't know what he's doing. We're going to get into some of the things that he said, man. It's insane. Some of the things he said are ridiculous. Shizzy, thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for supporting the channel. He says, what's good, bad dog? I'm an Eagles fan, respect and love your channel, but it's head scratching. I'm a major market city, can't figure it out. I appreciate that, Chiz. Yeah, like I said, man, the Eagles have figured it out. The Jets and Giants, neither one of them figured it out. It's been pretty pathetic. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty embarrassing at this point to be a Giants fan. You would have thought this year might have been different. I thought this year was going to be different. I was wrong. Sold a bill of goods and I bought it. I bought it all. Blake, thank you, brother. I really appreciate the super chat. Thank you, sir. He says, do you believe that DJ would have made our offense much better today? If you don't believe he would make it much better, he isn't much better than Mike Glenn. No, I don't think it would have made a difference. I honestly don't. We might have been able to score 1 touchdown. We weren't scoring more than 20 points, even with Daniel Jones. The offense really didn't look much different than it normally does. I think Daniel Jones could have hit those open receivers. He's definitely better than Mike Glennon. Let's not get it twisted. He's better than Mike Glennon, but no, I don't. I think the game would have been closer, but I don't think we would have won. I just don't. Pimp, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. No worries. Once Garrett's gone, the offense will improve. You know, all the people that wanted Garrett gone, well, you got your wish. And Freddie Kitchens now in 3 games as our offensive coordinator, we have put up exactly 28 points. And I know people are going to say, well, he had Colt McCoy and he had Mike Glennon. I understand that, but this offense is terrible. With or without Garrett, with or without Kitchens, with or without Jones, the offense is just disgracefully poor. It's really bad. It's really, really bad. This offense is just embarrassing. How can an offense be this bad? You have, listen to this. You have a $72 million wide receiver, a first-round tight end, a first-round quarterback, a first-round left tackle, a first-round running back, and a first-round wide receiver out there that is never on the field. But think about that. Tony was a first-round pick. Galladay, $72 million. Ingram was a first-round pick. Jones was a first-round pick. Andrew Thomas was a first-round pick. Saquon Barkley was a first-round pick. All these guys are first-round picks, and our offense puts up 17 points a game. This offense has not scored 30 points, I don't believe, since the end of the 2019 season when they put up 41 against Washington. Now, I know we scored 34 in one of the games, but there was a pick 6 in that game. So the offense didn't put up 30. It's totally embarrassing. It really is. I'm at a loss for words at this point, man. That don't usually happen to me. Who do we got in here, man? I see Jorge Pacetta. What's going on? D. Coop, Gregory Katchikian. What's going on? Greg Harris, Jake Newman, amazing guy. Pete Turner. Luann, Will K, Greg Harris, Yvonne Spitzberg, Pags 2709, Nova Novella, True Gamer, Rob Travis, Angel Pacino Gonzalez, the derpy one, Kenny Tom. What up, 518, baby? How you doing? I am too, Kenny. I understand, man. It's terrible. Jordan, thank you for the super chat, brother. I appreciate you, my man. I guess I can bring that up here. Hold on one second. What's going on, Roldy? How you doing? Ocean Blue. Jordan, thank you, brother. Draft 2 offensive linemen if we can't get Hutch or Thibodeau. I agree. I'm all about fixing this offensive line. I just can't. The defense, like I said, is good enough. When we're giving up 17 points or 20 points, if your defense gives up 20 points, that should be enough to win. You should have enough offense to win when your defense gives up 20 points. We barely beat the Eagles. The defense gave up 7 points and got 4 turnovers, and we barely were able to beat them. Barely. That can't happen. It's so bad right now. Shizzy, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Do you think the turning point was when Barkley started getting hurt? No, I'll be honest, Shizzy. I mean, the offense wasn't really good even when Barkley was healthy. In 2018, our offense still wasn't good. The turning point really began, I said this a while back. This began in 2011 when we took Prince Amukamara instead of Mark Ingram. That was when this tailspin begun. 2012, we took David Wilson, and unfortunately, he got hurt. 2013, we took Justin Pugh. Then we took Odell Beckham. He was a superstar, but we couldn't win any games. Then Eric Flowers, disgraceful. Eli Apple, disgraceful. Evan Ingram, disgraceful. Saquon Barkley, wrong pick. Daniel Jones, don't really need to say much about him. And Andrew Thomas, who's been good, but he can't stay healthy. And now Kadarius Toney. The first round picks of the New York Giants have been terrible. And everything they've done for the offensive line, or not done, has been terrible. It's really bad. DJ, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, do you believe Nelson and Herbert and Allen and Slater and the draft that Dave Gettleman will be a legend? Oh, God, yes. Hindsight's always better. I wanted Justin Herbert. Unfortunately, he didn't come out of the draft in 2019, or come into the NFL in 2019. I liked the Andrew Thomas pick. I actually liked the Saquon Barkley pick. But yeah, hindsight's 2020, but nothing that Dave Gettleman has done has worked. And when that happens, you got to be fired. And that's just the way it is. When you draft poorly and your contracts are bad, and We end up in the same situation we were when he took over. And he took over. Bad draft picks, bad cap situation. He's leaving. Bad draft picks, bad cap situation. He didn't do anything. He came in here and he just threw a bunch of gasoline on the dumpster fire that was the New York Giants. It's still burning out of control. We need somebody to come in here and extinguish this thing. I don't know who it was. I don't know who it is. I don't know what the answer is. Except for, like I said, just a full-on gutting of the team. You know, they got to gut the team from top to bottom. It's really what it is. Alien, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, if things don't work out in Seattle or New Orleans and those teams decide to move on from their head coaches, fire this clown judge and bring in Pete Carroll or Sean Payton. We were talking about it earlier today if in the stream. If Sean Payton is available, there's no way you don't go after Sean Payton. There's no way. Joe Judge should be given his walking papers immediately. He should be given his walking papers anyway, and he should have to walk back to New Jersey anyway. Joe Judge. I mean, he's terrible. In his press conference, every time, I felt like we played good today. We did a lot of good things out there. You know, first of all, let's give the other team credit. They played really well. They made some plays. I can do a whole Joe Judge presser for you, man. Let's give the other team credit. Let's give them credit. They played a really good game. That's a really good team over there in that in the other locker room. Got to give them credit. You know, I like some things that we did out there today. I thought we made some plays. I thought we made some plays on offense and defense. I felt like we moved the ball well. Felt like we got some stops when we needed to. It just wasn't enough today. You know, we all got to go in the locker room. We got to do better. We got to play for one another. And, we just got to do a better job right there. When we got 3rd down and 4, we got to make some catches there. That's what it is. So we just got to go back. We got to look at the tape and we got to do a better job. That's all it is. We got to play for one another. We're going to go out to the West Coast, try to get a win here in Los Angeles and, try to get it together. Every press conference is the same. Every freaking one. Verbatim. Talk is cheap, man. Talk is cheap. Tom, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Our O-line hasn't been at least decent since Justin Pugh was drafted. He's 32. Exactly. Justin Pugh was the last good lineman that we brought. Well, Andrew Thomas. But you're right. That's the last time the offensive line was any good, was when we drafted Justin Pugh. Because the offensive line hasn't been good in forever. Blake, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. He says, if you had the power to swap, would you choose DJ for Russell Wilson or Judge for Mike Zimmer? Which one makes us better day one? Well, I think Russell Wilson makes us better day one. You know, coach can only do so much with players he has. There's no doubt. Russell Wilson's a Hall of Famer. Daniel Jones is, probably ticketed to be a backup someplace or a game manager in his career. That's really what he is. Russell Wilson makes us better day one. And I don't know how much of a great coach Mike Zimmer is anyway. But Russell Wilson definitely would make us better day one. There's no question about it. I don't care who's coaching Russell Wilson because Russell Wilson's the coach in the field. Roldy, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you, sir. He says, this is why we got to be honest with Giants fans, especially the young ones, to let them know this isn't all good. It's a badass or it's bad as an organization. And that's why I appreciate you, Bad Dog, for speaking the truth. Hey, Roldy, you know me. You know I am, brother. We're brother from we're brothers from another mother, man. We have the same attitude when it comes to the Giants, and I know a lot of people do. And people just think that I like to just sit there and bash the Giants. I love some of the comments I get, man. They crack me up. Like, a guy's like, this is just a crybaby channel. Then why do you watch it? Like, why do people want to say stuff like that and sit there? And I'm like, yeah, and you watch me for 11 minutes. Some of these people should thank me. They ought to thank God, because without me, they'd have nothing to do. Some of these people. But yeah, this is a crybaby channel. Okay. Because the guy wants to blow smoke up Joe Judge's ass all the time. I've seen this guy in the post-game comments. Oh, Joe Judge is good. Give Joe Judge a chance. I had some guy try to tell me that Michigan ain't been relevant. It took Michigan 7 years to get relevant. Yeah. Michigan was in 5 bowl games. They didn't win. They won one of them, but say they weren't relevant. Michigan was good. They weren't great. Michigan's really good this year, but give me a break. And why are you using Michigan? Look at Arizona. Look at Cleveland. Look at who was the other one I mentioned earlier? The Eagles. Look at how quick they turn things around. Bear, thank you, brother. He says, I heard Glenn got a concussion. Who was our third quarterback? Jake Fromm. Jake Fromm from Georgia. Yeah, Glennon had a concussion. He played. And like I said, Joe Judge coaches with a concussion. So I guess that's why. But how is Glennon able to play with a concussion? How is that? Why is that possible? Why can Glendon play with a concussion? I just don't get it. Johnny, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. He says, Stella, that post game was funny and brilliant. You should come join us, Eagles fans. Again, you're too good of a person to subject yourself to that. Nah, I'll never be an Eagles fan. I'll always hate the Eagles, John. You're my guy, buddy, but I hate the Eagles. But yeah, if you guys like that, share that video out. Like that type of thing needs to be shared out with Giants fans. I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to try to be funny. You know what I mean? I wanted to make a laugh. We need a laugh. And I was like, you know what? In this video, I'm going to throw the paper bag on my head. I got it right here. I got my sweet Ed gear right here, man. I got my Giants gear right here. Yeah, share that video out. You guys got social media? Clip the video and throw it wherever you can throw it. Let some Giants fans see it. You always a video like that. You always want to try to make it enough people to see it that maybe somebody on the team sees it. That's always the thing. Independent Outsider, thank you for being a member for 19 months. I really appreciate it, buddy. He says, cannot draft the first round quarterback this year. I agree. But like I said in the video, if that's what if we completely gut everything and everything is brand new and they want to bring in a quarterback, although I don't want it, I would live with it. I would live with it, especially if we traded back. I could live with it if we traded back, but not in the top 10. Beantown, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Bobby says the buck stops at Mara. When will he feel the heat? Never. He'll never feel the heat, man. You know why? Because he's the owner, man. He don't care. As long as we keep going to the games and keep lying in his pockets, he don't care. There's been a lot of empty seats at Giants Stadium, though. When I did the Eagles game, when I was streaming it, there was a ton of empty seats. I saw them. Tons of empty seats. And somebody said they were there, and there's a bunch of empty seats too. I missed yours, Anthony. Where the hell is it? Where is it? I see Jordan. If you're talking about like the member thing, Anthony, it doesn't show up on StreamYard. And I try to do both, so it's difficult. Garrett, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Says one thing I'll say about the Giants recently is I'm so glad we've been getting some pressure on the quarterbacks. Good to see some pass rush now. Yeah, but I think we had one sack today. I think we had one sack. We didn't get a lot of pressure on. I don't remember getting a lot of pressure on Tua today. Maybe we had two. Tua, but that was the thing. We all knew Tua was going to come out and throw some quick passes, and we just played off and played weak zone. It was just we always do. Orphanage Ground, thank you, buddy. He says, father, someone with bad dog uses poverty for a second time. I have a feeling I'll be using poverty a lot, my friend. I have a feeling I'll be using poverty a lot. There you go. Anthony, thank you for being a member for 9 months, brother. I appreciate you. Bad dog, Yuta Paisan. Judge is terrible. C number 1. I completely agree, sir. I concur. I concur, Anthony. Yeah, thank you for being a member, man. I really appreciate it. Independent Outsider, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Appreciate you. Who would you sign as head coach after the season? Well, it depends. I would like Joe Brady to come in here as an offensive coordinator. Maybe Eric Bieniemy as a head coach. If Sean Payton is out there, definitely Sean Payton. I mean, that would be the first guy on my list to get in here as far as a head coach goes. If Harbaugh wins a national championship in Michigan, which is possible. I think Michigan's playing as good as anybody right now. If he won a national championship in Michigan, wanted to go back to the NFL, I'd throw him I'd give Harbaugh an empty check and say, go ahead, name your price. So there's a lot of guys out there that I think the Giants can look at, but I definitely would not want Joe Judge back here. Roldy, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for this super chat, my man. He says, we can talk about fixing the offensive line. Doesn't mean nothing if we don't make changes within the organization. It starts with Mara. For all the fans that thought it was Garrett. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I did the video on Jason Garrett, and I know that he's part of the problem. We can't sit there and absolve Jason Garrett of all the inefficiencies that go with the offense. He was definitely a part of the problem. But I said in that video, if Giants fans think that you're going to see a completely different offense and all of a sudden this offense is going to become high-flying offense, you're in for a rude awakening. So offense is exactly the same, no matter if it's Glennon, no matter if it's Jones, no matter if it's Fromm, no matter if it's Kitchens, no matter if it's whoever it is, because Joe Judge oversees the game plans. And this conservative garbage on defense and on offense is Joe Judge, because that guy from the first snap of the game plays not to lose. There is no aggression factor in that man. The only aggression factor that he has is his mouth. It's his mouth. He talks a lot. He doesn't back anything up, ever. He talks aggressively, but we see a completely different. We see a completely different result on the field. We see everything that he says. We see the complete opposite. There is no punching you in the nose for 60 minutes. What the Giants are. Think about this. This is what the Giants are for 60 minutes. We're not punching anybody in the nose. If this was a boxing match, what the Giants do is they go into a neutral corner and they cover up and they try to get through the round. You know, they take as many shots as they can, but they sit there like this so they don't get knocked out. You know what I mean? They would rather lose on points. Be like, oh, at least we battled. At least it was close. That's what pisses me off about the Giants more than anything else, and Joe Judge's coaching philosophy. Because that's what it's like. Instead of getting knocked out, instead of being aggressive and trying to knock your opponent out and in turn maybe getting knocked out, we sit there and go like this, where we're not going to beat anybody. We just do this the whole time and maybe hope to get a couple of slaps or something, or maybe the guy will get tired and we can hit him later in the game or later in the fight and win on points. There is no aggression factor. Joe Judge sucks. Johnny, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. He says, Bad Dog, let's check the tape. You wearing the Eagles jersey. I know you hate my Eagles. That's why I respect you. You're a loyal guy. Yeah, I mean, I'm a Giants fan. I'll always hate the Eagles. I did wear the Eagles jersey one time. I did for Philly 500's video. I wore that thing. And I don't need to wear it again. Oh, there's an interception by Kansas City. But all I can say is this. Like I said, at least I won that. At least I won that bet. If nothing else happened right for the Giants or me this year, at least I won that bet. And I do not have to wear the Eagles gear. Philly 500 does. He has to wear the Giants stuff. So at least I won that. Bryce, thank you, brother. Thank you for the super chat, man. I really appreciate that. He says, how many more years of pain? It hurts even. Oh, God, Bryce, I don't know, man. Your guess is as good as mine, unfortunately. I would have hoped by now we could have turned it around. I would have hoped by now the pain was ending. It seems like it's just beginning again. It is tough to be a New York Giants fan right now. There is no doubt about it. We are one of the worst organizations, most embarrassing, pathetic teams out there right now. We can't figure anything out. Asia, what's going on, my lady? How you doing today? Or tonight, I should say. Good to see you. DJ, thank you, brother. Appreciate the super chat very much. Says Mahomes should be a New York Giant. Except, oh, God, don't, yeah. Listen, I've said this story before. That's why McAdoo benched Eli Manning, in my opinion. McAdoo benched Eli Manning. McAdoo said, you know what? I'm losing my job anyway. I'm going to bet this is what I think of you. I wanted Eli Manning to maybe not be a quarterback that, maybe not be a backup in 2017, but in the future, he wanted Mahomes or Deshaun Watson. He wanted to trade up, and Mara said, no, we're not doing that. So we kept Eli a little bit too long, and it cost us. And then we reached for a quarterback, and it cost us some more. And now we're in quarterback purgatory, and I really don't know what the hell we're going to do because this draft class is not very good at all. Quarterback-wise, I don't like any of these quarterbacks. I just don't. Donovan, thank you for the super chat, man. I really appreciate that. He says, good evening, Bad Dog. I don't want to get up and go to school tomorrow. That's how depressed this team makes me. Donovan, I understand. I don't want to get up and go to work tomorrow either. I hate having to walk into work with my Giants hat, my Giants jacket. There's always a Cowboys fan. At least he's cool. I mean, the Cowboys fan that I talk to, at least he's cool. But we just kind of laugh at how bad the Giants are at this point. I mean, what can you do? I mean, we're so poverty, as DeGrom would say. We're poverty. We are poverty. At least construction worker Saban's not poverty. Garrett, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. He says, would you rather have Russell Wilson with their O-line right now or Jones with a top line O-line in the league? No, I've said I don't want to trade for Russell Wilson at all. Russell Wilson wouldn't want to come here anyway. Why would he want to go from one bad line to another? That doesn't make a lot of sense for Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's 33. He wants to win again. The Eagles make perfect sense. They have 3 first-round picks. They got draft capital. They got money to sign him, and they got a good offensive line. He makes perfect sense for Philadelphia if they decide that Minshew is not their guy, although Minshew played very well today, but it was against the Jets. But I think Russell Wilson makes more sense for Philadelphia than he does for the Giants. I would not want Russell Wilson. If we were going to trade anything, I'd want Deshaun Watson because he's much younger. John, thank you, brother. I appreciate the super chat. He says, Joe Judge's favorite line. We got to look at the tape. Oh, that and right there. He likes to say right there. Right there. Right there. Got to look at the tape right there. We got to do a better job right there. I got to do a better job right there. The coach got to do a better job right there. It's the same thing. It's the same thing verbatim. Like I said, he should just record it and they should just play it back every time we lose. Every time we lose. It's ridiculous. How bad he is. It really is. Where am I at? Musab, thanks so much for the super chat. Would you rather draft Evan Neal or Tyler Linderbaum? I'm fine with either one of them. Either one. I'd be thrilled with either one of those guys, man. Either one. Asia, my lady, thank you for being a member for 26 months, a member of the Dog Pound. She says, Eagles went with a backup. I'll be honest with you, Asia. I don't think Minshew's a backup. I think Hurts is the backup. I think Hurts is the backup there. Minshew should be the starter. Minshew's going to be the starter. Minshew's better than Jalen Hurts. It's about time the Eagles used him. Johnny, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat, my brother. He says, I know this would never happen. What would you do if the Giants somehow obtained Hurts? Would that be the tipping cap or you go viral? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't go crazy like I did when we drafted Daniel Jones. We wouldn't have to give up anything to get Hurts. I wouldn't want Jalen Hurts. I don't think that Jalen Hurts would be the answer here. I don't think he's the answer as any team starting quarterback. I think Hurts will be exactly what I said he'd be, Johnny, and that is a guy that is a backup quarterback. He'd be a serviceable backup, and he is a guy that can come in and wildcat. You can do a lot of trick things with him now and again. He could, like a Taysom Hill. That's what he could be. That's all he's going to be. So no, I don't think he's going to be a starter in this league. I really don't. Bryce, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. What if still wanted Ben as our head coach for one more season? I'll be honest, Bryce. For me, the whole thing with Ben McAdoo was I felt like the team quit. I think Ben McAdoo, great offensive coordinator. And I think that Ben McAdoo had a good football mind and he understood talent. I think Ben McAdoo understood all that, but he had a hard time gaining players' respect. And I don't think that the players respected him. And I think that that's why he lost the locker room in the game against the Rams when they completely quit on him. I think that was kind of the end of it. And then once he decided he was going to start Geno Smith, that was definitely the end of him. That was it. He wasn't coming back from that. So, again, I understand why they got rid of McAdoo. It was time. But unfortunately, none of it's worked out since he left. And everything McAdoo has said about this organization was correct. Kyle, thank you, brother. I appreciate the super chat. He says, why did you take that time? Well, right there. Yeah. Well, right there, we had like a split second. I want to get a delay game right there. We're at second down 23 from the 6. I don't want to get a delay game right there. Obviously we can make a big play right there to second down 23. You don't want to burn a timeout there. And then again, what's utterly ridiculous about that? We got to delay a game on the same damn drive. This same damn sequence. We ended up with a delay a game. He took a freaking timeout. Think about this, guys. He took a timeout on second down and 23 from about his own 7-yard line to avoid a delay a game, right? And in the same exact series, we got a delay a game. Dashy, thank you, brother. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. Really appreciate it. He says the Bengals team had a lifeless performance today. My only concern is that will the Bengals beat the 49ers next week? They took a bad loss today. The 49ers did. They should never lost to Seattle. That helps the Giants out. It could help us draft positioning. But Dashy, for me, watching the Bengals, they're so inconsistent. But you know what? That comes with being a young team. You're going to have really good weeks and really bad weeks when you're a young team. They have definitely, the loss to the Jets was inexcusable. And then, today they kind of went out, they laid an egg. So since he's been a very up and down team this year, very up and down. Roldy, thank you, brother. I appreciate the super chat. He says, Bad Dog, this organization is an embarrassment. I don't think fans understand how bad it is. Yeah, I think fans need to understand how bad it is. And one of the things that happens, Roldy, and this happens with Twitter and Instagram, and I don't know if people are on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook, so I don't know. But the beat writers, they sugarcoat everything. And this happens especially in the Yankee organization. Definitely. The beat writers cover and make excuses. They don't ever call them out and say, this is really bad. This team is really bad. This team does. So all these kids can do is believe what they read, which is why YouTube is good. Because then you have guys like me, and some of my opinions aren't popular with something. I don't care because I'm speaking the truth. If we were 7-5, I wouldn't be wearing a bag on my head. If we were 7-5 or we had been a decent team a couple of times in the last 6 years, I wouldn't be making some of the videos I make. But the fact that we have lost 54 of the last 76 games, I think I have a right to be kind of pissed. And I think the fan base has a right to be pissed, and they need to know what's going on. And what's going on is this organization is completely lost from the owner all the way down. And we got a head coach that just wants to throw everybody under the bus. And like I said, Joe, you ain't stopping that bus. You can keep laying bodies underneath the bus, but eventually that bus is going to get your ass. Joe, all you're doing is slowing it down. But that bus is coming for you, Joe. So you better hop on a train and get the hell out of here before you get run over by it, because that's what's going to happen. Brady, thank you for the super chat, man. Really appreciate it. He says the inevitable taxes, death, betting on Save It. Yes, and I'm betting on Belichick too, as you are Rich Jeweler Brady. But I should have never bet again. When I was thinking about it, Brady, I'm sitting there going, why did I put the money on Georgia? I should have taken Alabama on the money line. That's what I should have done. But hindsight being 2020, I just thought Georgia was really, really good. And they just, Bama's Bama. That's really all it is. Talking Eco, thank you, man. Really appreciate the super chat. He says, flushed it all out. Give the GM full control. Beer tastes pretty damn good. I'm not going to lie. I haven't had beer in a long time. He says, don't hire these flyer coaches with little experience. Get a quarterback with some swag and confidence. I completely agree with you. Could not agree more. Talking Eco. Completely agree with everything that you just said there. Independent Outsider, thank you, man. I really appreciate the super chat. He says, at least I got the Mets and dreams of a World Series soon. Yeah, the Mets are making moves. Now, to be fair, the Mets have made a lot of moves, and they never seem to work for the Mets. Hopefully they do. But they haven't so far. But the Mets are certainly swinging. The Mets, they're looking like the Yankees used to when George Steinbrenner was our owner. He's going out and getting the best players available. I commend the Mets. I tip my cap to the Mets. Respect the Mets for that. I respect it. You're going for it. Good. Good. And listen, man, again, I don't ever claim to be the biggest hockey fan in the world, but the Rangers are the best team in New York. And I do watch every Rangers game, or at least most of them. At least I'm enjoying that. At least I got the Rangers to root for. Nothing else. At least Rangers fans, at least we got the Rangers. The Knicks are the Knicks will nick. I don't know. The Knicks. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know why you get your hopes up with the Knicks last year. Oh, the Knicks in a job. Oh, we're turning the corner, man. Yo, we're turning the corner. The future's bright. And then you turn the corner, whoop, you go right off the cliff. There's a cliff right around the corner for the Knicks and the Giants. I still think the Knicks are going to get into the postseason, but I don't think the Knicks are any better this year than they were last year. And I don't know what the hell happened to their defense. Defense is awful. Yuri, thank you, man. I appreciate the super chat. He says, the great Lawrence Taylor said on TMZ, he thought that Eli was still the quarterback. He doesn't know who Judge and Jones are. I don't blame him. Somebody told me that in my Lawrence Taylor video, that he doesn't watch the Giants. He knows who they are. You know how I know he knows who they are? He's saying that, and I don't blame him for saying that. Because Lawrence Taylor came out with something. He had a quote last year, and I did a video on it last year. He said the Giants don't have an identity. He came out and he said the Giants don't have an identity. So I know that he knows who they are. But I don't blame him. He shouldn't know who the hell he's trying to forget who the hell they are. It's your boy. Thank you, brother. I appreciate the super chat. He says Giants being the Giants, sadly, terrible cap space management as of late and overpaying a one-year wonder defensive lineman. Terrible team all around. Facts. Yeah, where's Leonard Williams? Leonard Williams has like 3 or 4 games that really bump up his stats, and then he disappears. You know? I don't know. No, this guy, I see, where'd it go? Where'd that go? Where'd that go? Where the hell? I just see someone trying to raid on the parade. The Rangers not sustainable. I mean, no, I don't think the Rangers are going to go 17-4 every 21 games, but I think the Rangers are sustainable enough to make a deep run into the playoffs. Definitely. We have to tread water till Shesterkin gets back, and luckily the Shesterkin injury is not as bad as they thought it was. He should only be out for a week. Gorgiev has done pretty good. Mike, thank you, my man. I appreciate the super chat. He says, Judge must have Gano to say. Well, I don't know, Mike. I got to go to the tape right there. I got to go to the tape to see if he does. But maybe that's a good point. Maybe Judge does have Gano on his fantasy team. That's why he lined up for the 56-yarder. That's why he lines up for the 56-yarder, trying to get that 5-point field goal, Mike. That's what it was. I like this too. He says, can I get an HTTR? Can I ask you exactly what the hell HTTR stands for? What does HTTR stand for? What the hell's the name of your team? There's no R on your team anymore. What does that mean? What the hell's HTTR mean? I'm trying to figure it out. Let me know what that R stands for. Talking Eco, thank you, man. I really appreciate the super chat. He says, when McAdoo kept his job, if you started Webb over Smith in that game, Webb showed. My whole argument with, I think McAdoo would have lost his job anyway. They were 2-11. I think they quit on him. But I would not have been as mad if they put Davis Webb in there, because at least you could have said, hey, we want to get a look at this kid. We drafted him. We want to take a look at him, want to see if he has anything. When you put Geno Smith in there, you know what Geno Smith was. You know Geno Smith is not an NFL starting quarterback. It was just a slap in the face to the Giants organization. And unfortunately, Eli Manning just ended up being his pawn in that chess match. That really had nothing. I don't think McAdoo had anything to do personally with Eli Manning. I don't think that was anything personal against Eli. I think that was his big middle finger to the Giants organization for not allowing him to take a quarterback. And maybe it was a little bit personal with Eli. And I've said this before, and I will say it till the day I die, or till Louis turn this around, whatever comes first. To me, the whole reason that we went after, the whole reason that we kept Eli and drafted Saquon Barkley is because the organization was trying to make it up to Eli. That's why. Organization was trying to make it up to Eli for them not stopping in and telling McAdoo you're not benching him. It's my honest opinion. That's ownership. That's why ownership's a problem. Ownership meddles way too much in what our our head coach and our GM does. Not my opinion. Giants champions, thank you, man. I appreciate the super chat. Some chance that Fromm's not good. Fromm is not good. I promise you. Jake Fromm is not good. If Jake Fromm was any good, Jake Fromm would not be on practice squads. Jake Fromm would at the very least, been a backup someplace. He is not a good quarterback. Trust me when I tell you, he is not a good quarterback. Garrett, thank you, man. I appreciate the super chat. He says, we need offense. Bieniemy could be a good fit as head coach. Yeah, I'd be fine with Bieniemy. I'm ready for an offensive head coach. I am definitely ready for a coach with some offense. Peter, thank you, man. I appreciate the super chat. Did you know who Ovechkin? Do I know? Of course I know who Alexander Ovechkin is. Ovechkin is one of the greatest players in the history of the league. Absolutely. Listen, it took Ovechkin a long time to win a cup. He didn't win a cup forever, but I watched the Rangers play in the playoffs all the time. So of course I know who Ovechkin is. Yeah, Alexander Ovechkin. 750. He's still about 150 away from Gretzky. I think Gretzky is 892, something like that. Orphanage DeGrom, man. Thank you. I appreciate the super chat. He says Mets favorites for Bryant. With all the talent around me, I finally feel like KD. The difference between the snake and me is these guys joined me. We'll see if they do anything. You also had Lindor, who was terrible. I don't know how good Chris Bryant is. I don't know. Well, the guy that I hear the Yankees are going after is Cedric Mullins. I'd be very happy with Cedric Mullins. I would be very happy with Cedric Mullins. Blake, thank you, man. I really appreciate the super chat. He says, I don't want to turn into the old Browns, but it's starting to feel like that. Our Super Bowl is now divisional games, not the actual Super Bowl. That's a sign of a failing franchise. You are 100% correct, sir. I fully admitted after the Eagles game in my post game, that was my Super Bowl. Fully admitted it. I used to say that to people all the time. You beat us, that was your Super Bowl. And at the time it was. I used to say that to Eagle fans all the time. That was your Super Bowl because they were no good and we were a pretty good team. And I don't lie. That was my Super Bowl. Everything I had on the line there where I went and had to wear Eagles crap when I streamed the Giants and Eagles next time, that was my Super Bowl. And unfortunately, probably was the Giants Super Bowl too. And when we play Dallas, that'll be our Super Bowl. Yeah, it's pathetic. You're right. We are a complete, now we're not just failing, Blake. We have failed. We are a complete failure. I say it all the time. Every time you think the Giants can't get any lower, we find ways to get lower. New levels of poverty. It's just unbelievable how bad this team is. Yuri, thank you so much for the super chat, man. I really appreciate it. He says, I wish we had homegrown offense coordinator examples. Kellen Moore and Scott Turner were QB coaches that turned into the offensive coordinator. Can Shaplinski, our quarterback, be our Q? Oh, no. I mean, Shaplinski's did a terrible job with the quarterbacks. Again, Yuri, to me, if they keep Judge, they need to let Judge pick his guys. No matter how good or bad, for better or for worse, they need to let Judge have full autonomy, and he needs to make the decisions on his coaching staff. He should not be forced to take Patrick Graham or to take Freddie Kitchens or to take Jason Garrett. He should not be forced to do that. And if they do bring in a complete new general manager, what they should, I think that the general manager should have complete autonomy to say, I don't want Joe Judge. I don't want Freddie Kitchens. I don't want Patrick Graham. I don't want any of these guys. I'm going to go out. I'm going to get my own guys. These are the guys I want to sign. These are the guys I want on the team. These are the guys I want to draft. And John Mara needs to say, okay. Because what the Giants are doing right now is not working. You cannot, it's a definition of insanity. You continue to do the same things over and over and over and over again, and you expect different results. Every week, do we ever see anything different from this offense? Do we ever see anything different from this defense? No. So what do we see most weeks? Losses. And when we win, we don't win by a lot. Every one of our wins is extremely tight. Every one of them. We have to go to overtime against the Saints. You know, we squeak by the Eagles. We squeak by the Raiders. I don't even remember who the hell the other team is that we beat, for crying out loud. Oh, the Panthers. We did blow the Panthers out. But that game was 5-3 at halftime. It was 5-3. Sam Darnold just stinks. So I don't know. I agree with that, Mike. I agree with that. But again, they're 6-7. I mean, we suck at a completely different level, Mike. But yeah, I agree. I hate the Eagles, but I gotta give them credit. Gotta give them credit. Johnny, thank you for the super chat, man. I appreciate you. Thank you. Russell Wilson, Giant next season. No. Doesn't, like I said, Johnny, it just doesn't make sense. We'd have to give up draft capital for Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's getting killed in Seattle with a bad offensive line. He has won a Super Bowl. He has played in 2 Super Bowls. He has a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's 33. At this juncture in his career, wherever he goes, he wants to win. He doesn't want to be part of a rebuild. It doesn't make any sense. And the Giants are in the middle of a rebuild with no cap space to take on a quarterback in the middle of his career that's not going to turn this into a Super Bowl contender overnight. He doesn't want to go through the growing pains of a rebuild, and an organization has no idea which direction they're going in. It's the biggest problem with the Giants is we have absolutely no direction. We really don't. We are going in circles. I say that. I think Josie McFly said it, man. It's impossible to turn a corner when you're just going in circles. And that's really what we do here. We tread water. We don't swim anywhere. You know? Rios is bringing Mariota and make Jones backup. I'm not a fan of Mariota. Mariota's been a career backup for a reason, and I don't think that he would make a difference. To be honest with you, we need a real difference maker at quarterback, and if we're going to go quarterback, I don't want to stop. I mean, if we're going to bring in a stopgap, fine, but I don't want to. I'm not looking at Mariota at the future of the Giants. I want the future of the Giants. I don't think it's Jones. I don't think it's Mariota. I don't think he's in this draft class. I think 2023, maybe, So, I don't know. Yes, Mariota is awful. I agree. Here we go. Judge is a good coach. I don't need to read any more than that. You need help, sir. You need help. And the fact that you use my thumbnail or my picture as your thumbnail tells me all I need to know. You need to get a hobby, sir. You need a woman. Get a girl. Like do something productive. Like get a woman. That would help. Get a woman. Do something with yourself. Re-sign Rizzo. It depends on what we do at first base. It depends on what we do. I don't know. Where is it, Lucas? I don't see. I see Blake. I see DeGrom. I see Peter. I see Garrett. I see Giants champions. I see Mike Glenn. It's your boy, Yuri. Let me look over here. Maybe. Oh, it's not a super chat. It's a member. Yeah, if I'm not looking at the YouTube chat, Lucas, I don't see that. If I'm just looking at StreamYard, it doesn't pop up on StreamYard. It only pops up on YouTube. But thank you for being a member for 12 months. I'd improve the O-line and run it back in 2022. That's what I said in the Daniel Jones video. You have no choice. You have no choice but to run it back. You have we have no choice. We have nothing else. We can't go out and sign players. We have no money. We have no money at all. We don't. What are we going to do? We can't go out and sign a bunch of guys. We have to cut players in order to find money to sign our draft picks. I don't know. Do I want Bryce Young? Yeah, I'll take Bryce Young. Absolutely. Absolutely, I would take Bryce Young in a heartbeat. Blake, thank you, man. Really appreciate the super chat. If the Giants hire a GM from outside the franchise, should the Giants allow ownership to allow that GM to toss DJ and Judge in their head? Yeah, absolutely, Blake. I mean, that's pretty much what I just said. You bring in a new GM, he should have full autonomy on everything that he does. His draft picks, that's a new quarterback, whatever, draft picks, coaches, he makes all the decisions. Mara steps back and goes, okay, I trust you. John Mara can be like, you have to take DJ, you have to take Joe Judge. No. The new GM, because I'm going to tell you something. The best GMs, the best available GM isn't going to take that. Because what GM wants to come into a situation where they're forced to take another GM's players and coaches? No GM wants to do that. So that's why we ended up with a guy like Gettleman. Gettleman is the one guy that said, okay, I'll take 36-year-old Eli Manning in a bad offensive line, and I'll do the best that I can. And unfortunately, his best was terrible. Ryan, thank you, man. I really appreciate you. Oh, yeah, he said he's pleased with the offense. Yeah, Joe Judge is, well, I mean, listen. Ryan, if you wear your headset like this, hey, I can't hear nothing. Oh, another delay game? Damn. I got to look at the tape. So, yeah, I mean, when you wear your headphones over your eyes like Joe does, of course he's going to be pleased with the offense. He should be. I mean, we scored 9 points. It's pretty impressive. It was a really good offensive performance today. It looked amazing. Joe Judge, I thought I lost it. Joe Judge has lost it. He's lost it. Zig, thank you, man. Really appreciate the super chat. He says, and for another 4-year rebuild, 8 years. Yes. Yeah. Unfortunate, but true. It's true. Yeah, Slot King. I same thing. I'll never doubt Nick Saban. I don't know why the hell I bet against him. It's stupid. I just thought Georgia was that good. I forgot they were playing against Nick Saban. I forgot. Well, I'll say this. Joe Judge probably thinks they are. Joe Judge probably thinks that they are. Evan Neal to the Giants. I would love to have Evan Neal, Mega Giants. I don't think he's getting to us. I think he's going to Jacksonville. I think Evan Neal will end up in Jacksonville. I really think that's where he's going to end up. They have a young quarterback and Trevor Lawrence. They got to protect him. Their offensive line's awful. I could see Evan Neal going to Jacksonville. I think that's where he ends up. My man, G Money, what's going on, buddy? How you doing? He says it might be going to the Giants next. Yeah, that's right. You live out in California. Well, all I can say if you go, G Money, is have fun. If you could probably leave at halftime and beat the traffic because we'll probably be getting killed. But if you do go, have fun. I mean, obviously, the most fun you can have watching our team. It's like pulling teeth. I mean, the Giants are about as fun as getting a root canal without Novocaine. And they're about as painful, too. It's pretty bad. But if you do go, G, have a great time. Good line hit today. Too bad that bonus screwed you, though. The bonus, whenever you do max bet, why does bonus always screw you, G? I don't understand it. You bet like $1, you get a good bonus. You max bet, the bonus is like, nope, I'm paying you. But the line hit was nice. I want more of that, G. The hand pay is coming. I'm telling you, brother, it's coming. Blake, thank you, man. I appreciate the super chat, brother. I don't know who Luke Fickle is. I have no idea who that is, so I can't say one way or the other. I do not know who Luke Fickle is. Or a junior man, thank you, brother. I really appreciate the super chat. He says the Giants are cursed since their last Super Bowl run. One playoff appearance in 10 years, unacceptable. Yeah, you're right. I don't know what. Somebody has to find that boat that those players were on, and they have to. Somebody, I probably know a guy that knows a guy. We got to get rid of that boat. That needs to be at the bottom of the ocean someplace. 22 and 54 since the boat trip. That is horrible. TK, thank you, man. I appreciate the super chat. By the way, guys, if you haven't done so, hit the thumbs up. Helps out the stream. If you don't mind hitting that thumbs up button for me, that would be awesome. It's free. It's the best way to support the channel, the free way. We got 521 people in the house. I really do appreciate you watching. So obviously there's a few people in here that haven't hit that thumbs up, but if you could do that for me, I would greatly appreciate it. I appreciate you spending your Sunday night with me after another terrible Giants loss. But thank you for being here. And yeah, if you could hit that thumbs up, that'd be great. Subscribe if you're new. And thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Probably have a video out tomorrow just talking more about more Giants garbage. Because you know me, I like to do the post game where I kind of rant, rave, then I calm down a little bit, then I kind of talk about stuff. So I'll probably do another video tomorrow. I did hear about Glennon's concussion, TK, and as I put on Twitter, Mike Glennon played with a concussion, and Joe Judge has coached with a concussion for 2 years. I think Joe Judge coaches with the concussion. I think things are blurry for Joe. Blake, man, thank you. You didn't have to super chat again. He says, Luke Fickell, former OSU defensive coordinator, current coach of Cincinnati, 12-0. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd want a group of 5 head coach as a Giants head coach. I am very happy that Brent Venables is the OU head coach. I kind of figured that Brent Venables was going to go to OU. It made sense because he came from Oklahoma. That was one bit of good news I did get today, was that Brent Venables was going back to OU. Now maybe we'll get some defense. Brent Venables is a very hot head coaching candidate in the collegiate ranks. Did a great job of Clemson's defense. And when Venables was our defensive coordinator under Bob Stoops, we actually had a pretty good defense. So I'm pretty happy. The one thing I really worry about, I do not want Caleb Williams transferring to USC. I really want Caleb Williams to be a Sooner. Caleb Williams is really the only reason that I enjoyed watching the Sooners this year. So I don't know. But yeah, I don't know if I would want Luke Fickell. I wouldn't want him as a coach. Like maybe he needs to get into the NFL as a coordinator, but I don't know if I would take him as a head coach. Johnny, thank you, man. I really appreciate the super chat, brother. He says, bad luck will be crazy the last 4 games. Hopefully we can beat Washington, Dallas. It would be great. But then watch the stinking Giants beat us. I don't know if we're beating anybody, especially if Daniel Jones is out for the rest of the year. I don't think we're beating anybody. Yeah, the NFC is to be very interesting down the stretch. The playoff race will be very interesting. I'll be honest. I hope you guys make the playoffs, lose in the first round. I hope the Colts make the playoffs. I don't care if they lose in the first round. Not the Colts go in the Super Bowl for all I care. And I hope the Dolphins make the playoffs. I hope that all 3 of your first round picks end up being 20th or worse. That I honestly do. I really do hope you make the playoffs because I know you're not winning a Super Bowl. So I kind of do. I hope you get there and you lose. You draft 20th, and then the Dolphins are like 22nd, and hopefully the Colts are like 30th. That'd be perfect with me. I got no problem with that. I don't care if you make the playoffs. Don't win a Super Bowl. That's facts. Zig, thank you. Tell us your quickest, fastest turnaround. Because I don't know what that means. My quickest, fastest turnaround. Oh, possible. Zig, unfortunately, I don't think there is one. I don't think there is a fast turnaround here. There really isn't. The only thing I can say, I mean, honestly, the fastest turnaround, and again, we couldn't do it, would be to draft 2 offensive linemen and bring in a Russell Wilson. That's it. That's the fastest way you could turn it around. To draft, you can't do it with Russell Wilson. So you would need to get 2 offensive linemen with our first 2 picks and then find some kind of quarterback out there that could be decent. Maybe that's all it takes. Maybe Daniel Jones could be the guy with that. I don't know. I would also get rid of Joe Judge. I mean, I would change head coach. I would bring in an Eric Bieniemy. I'd bring in a Joe Brady as the offensive coordinator. I'd draft some offensive linemen and see what Daniel Jones could do with some offensive minds. I don't know if that would turn it around or not, but that would be what I would want to do. John, man, thank you. I appreciate the super chat. It's sickening to the end of the season, as the headline will be that Gettleman retired. Oh, it'll be sickening to me. The end of the season headline will be that Gettleman retired. He deserves to be getting fired, rightfully so. I agree. I guess the Giants, but you know what, John? The Giants aren't that organization. That's the problem with Mara. He's too damn loyal. He's too worried about people's feelings. Coughlin was one thing. That was one thing. The guy won 2 Super Bowls. The guy's a Hall of Fame head coach. That was one thing. Gettleman, he should be fired. Yeah, I agree. He was terrible. Greg, thank you, man. Really appreciate you. He says Tiki would carry us these games. Saquon can't. Tiki's the best running back we've ever had. It's not close. And yeah, Tiki, he said some stupid things when he retired. Tiki belongs in the Hall of Fame. Tiki was that good. And you're right. Tiki would carry. I mean, Tiki would have over 2,000 yards from scrimmage every year. The man was great. Gilbride retired. What did I just see here? Could you see Atlanta wanting Jones? And no. Matt Ryan's making a lot of money. There's no reason for us to do that. If we're going to get, the only way that I would want a different quarterback in here outside of Daniel Jones for 2022, not because I think Daniel Jones is the guy, because Daniel Jones doesn't make a lot of money, is if we got draft capital. If we got like the Jets got, whatever the Jets got, a 2nd, 4th, and a 6th, like if we got that for Daniel Jones, I would do that. And then I would try to find somebody else to, like Jacoby Brissett, Tyrod Taylor, whatever. Somebody in that capability. I don't know, Case Keenum, whatever. If somebody in that realm, I don't know. Gettleman not the guy, Judge not the guy, Kitchen's not the guy, anyone the guy. You the man. But no, Anthony, there's no guy in this. You're right. Now, I've said this before, and maybe there's a couple guys out here. But who are you excited about in the future for the New York Giants? Who do you look at in this team and go, man, we got to build around that guy? Andrew Thomas? Xavier McKinney? Like who's the guy you're like, man, yeah, we got to build a team around him. We don't have that guy. That's how you know this team's really bad. There's just nothing there. We have drafted in the top, we drafted in the top 11 every year Gettleman's been here. And we moved back this year, which I understood moving back, but to draft the wide receiver was just stupid. To completely neglect the offensive line this year was stupid. And it looks even worse when Nate Solder is so bad. Nate Solder is so bad. And you talked about how we're going to develop these kids and they were going to do this and that. Nate Solder is so bad, and Matt Parrott can't get on the field because Nate Solder is better than him, and you think that going into the draft, and you still don't draft a lineman, you still don't bring in an offensive lineman, that shows you the ineptitude of the coaching staff and the GM. It made no sense. Nate Solder is a train wreck. He is a turnstile. We have a third-round pick that can't get on the field because Nate Solder outplays him. And you don't go with an offensive lineman at any point in the draft? Shame on you. Hey, Oob, thank you, man. Give me two over DJ. I take two over DJ any time. Any day of the week. I would take Tua. Any day of the week. I see people talking about, is Philly 500 in here? I didn't see Philly 500 in here. Where's Philly 500 at? I didn't see Philly 500 in here. I just see somebody at Philly 500. Where'd that go? I don't see Philly in here. Oh, it's not Philly 500. That's what I was going to say. I was going to say, I didn't see no Philly 500 in here. But yeah, it's just, it's really bad. Giants should be getting OBJ or Gronk next season. No, we shouldn't. Shouldn't get either one of those guys. They're both older. Oh, no, Beckham's never coming back here. And Gronk's not leaving Tampa. Gronk will retire when Brady retires. And Gronk's not going to another team. There's no way. I didn't see him anyway. I didn't even see Philly 500. I didn't even see the name in the chat. Take Hurts over DJ. I wouldn't take Hurts over Daniel Jones. I still wouldn't do that. I don't know. He's balling in LA. He's doing better than he did in Cleveland. He's doing better. He still had some football in him. Rams got right today. The Rams are struggling. But yeah, OBJ does love LA. The Rams are struggling, but the Rams got it together today. Cardinals are really good. Uncle Lou, I told you weeks ago the Cardinals are the best team in football. You try to tell me the Rams. I know Uncle Lou watches. I love you, Uncle Lou, but remember something. Leave the NFL to me. I don't question you when it comes to college. Leave the NFL to me. I know what I'm talking about. Trust me. I may be crazy, and I may be wrong all the time. Trust me, my wife tells me all the time. But I got the grips on the NFL. The Cardinals are the best team. They're really awesome. Where are we at? Remembering when we actually had a competent offense. Eli, Jacobs, Bradshaw. Yeah. Oh, those are nice days, weren't they? Having a long time ago. It's a long time ago. How the hell did that happen? Cardinals, Pats, Super Bowl. Patriots, I could see getting in there. I really could. Also think the Chiefs are figuring this out. I don't think the Cardinals are going to get there, though. I think the Cardinals are the best team in football, but I think the inexperience that goes to that team will hurt them at some point in the playoffs, because I think if they ran into a guy like Aaron Rodgers, I think that Aaron Rodgers might be a little bit too much for him. You never know. Cardinals are they are talent-wise are ridiculous. But Cliff Kingsbury, Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's played in a playoff college game and we got lit up by Alabama, but I don't know. I don't know if I would trust a young team with a young head coach in the postseason to make the Super Bowl. They're going to run into some more experienced teams, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm so ready to tank and beat the Bears. Anything to get Hutchinson and Neal. Well, Jake, when we play the Bears, it won't matter who wins that game. It honestly won't, because we have both of the picks. So either way, we would end up the same. So yeah, I'd want to beat the Bears. I mean, I want to win every game from here on out. I want to finish 9-8. I know that's impossible. I know that's not going to happen. Then I know that I said this team might as well tank. I still can't root for them to tank, but I can tell you this. Well, and I'm not even going to lie. If they lose, I'm still going to get pissed. I will still rant. I'll still rave because I'm sick and tired. I'm just sick and tired of losing. I hate this. I hate this. I mean, Chris and I do the talk show pretty much every week. We do the Giants games every week. We do Giants videos and everything. We talk about the Giants all the time, and there's never anything good to talk about here. And it's getting tight. It gets tough. It gets tough when your season's over in the middle of October every year. It gets tiring after a while. Like, who the hell wants to consistently deal with a crappy team? And all we can do is rant and talk about what can we do next year. It's so stupid. October 16th. Well, let's talk about the draft. It's ridiculous. We're talking about the draft before the college football playoff rankings even come out. So stupid. Like, before Halloween, we're talking about, well, what are we going to do in 2022? Every year. I think it was Jordan Renan. He said, well, it's time to start thinking about 2022. I think he said it's time to start thinking about next year. I said, I responded with, I've been thinking about next year since 2012. So stupid. So stupid. And people, listen, you may get to see Jake Fromm, but you're not going to like what you see. The guy sucks. Jake Fromm will get killed. Jake Fromm will get absolutely destroyed behind this offensive line. Absolutely destroyed. Jake Fromm, if they tell Jake Fromm you're the starter, Jake Fromm might say, I quit. He might say, no, I'll pass, coach. This is your opportunity. I'll pass, coach. I like my brain where it is. I'll pass, coach. Kyler is the best quarterback in the NFL. He's up there. He's my favorite guy. He was a guy I wanted the Giants to trade up and do whatever they could to. Obviously, they had no chance at him, but I love Kyler Murray right out of college. Do I think Patrick Graham is staying? Oh, the thumbnail. That's a good one. Yeah. Oh man. Jake, like I said, man, I think that whoever the new head coach is should be able to make the decision. If it's Joe Judge, I think that Joe Judge should be able to make the decision. We ever get a new GM, I think the GM should have carte blanche on whoever he wants. And I think that when the new GM comes in here, that he should say, okay, I don't want Patrick Graham, or I don't want Joe Judge, or I don't want Daniel Jones, whatever he wants, I feel like he should get. Giants is the video. Yeah, well, like I said, Johnny, I wanted to make something a little bit more, even though I was pissed off, I still wanted to do something a little lighter, a little bit more comedic, because this team is just it's a clown show. It's just so I wanted to act like a clown. I wanted to act like a fool, which I do a lot anyway. But I wanted to make people laugh. I wanted to bring a little levity to the situation, because being a Giants fan, you got to laugh to keep them crying these days. And unfortunately, I'm glad people enjoy it. Like I said, like the best thing you can do for that, any social media you have, just share the video on your social media page. Just take the link and say, check this Giants fan out, whatever. Because that's about it. Like, honestly, some of these videos, well, not mine, but I know there's some videos they get big enough that the organization sees them. You telling me, like some of EDP's videos were definitely seen by the Eagles organization because they got so big. But like I said, I wanted to do something a little bit more funny while I was ranting. Yeah, that should have happened in 2017. You're really not here. Trust me, he's gonna suck. Just trust me. I tell you, that poor Jake Fromm is gonna get killed. I wonder who our fourth string quarterback is. That's what I wonder. Well, hopefully the giraffe clears concussion protocol. We can look at him again next week. Better, I'll go to my grave saying you look amazing in anything Eagles gear. I love you, buddy, but no. I mean, listen, I'll be honest, man. I look amazing in anything that I wear. I mean, let's be completely honest. I look amazing no matter what I wear, but I don't like that Eagles crap. I like the jersey. I don't like that jersey on me, though. I like the jersey. I love the old Eagle logo, the spread wings, and the Kelly green. I like the jersey. I can't lie. It's a cool jersey. I like it right where it is, hanging in my closet. I don't want it hanging off of my shoulders. Well, Brian LeWerk is I would rather have Brian LeWerk than Jake Fromm. To be honest, Phil Simms might be able to do a better job at 62 or whatever he is right now. Listen, I loved Eric Dickerson when I was growing up, Johnny. I thought Eric Dickerson was the man. The Rams and Giants used to have really good games in the 80s, even though the Rams owned our ass. Like one of the worst losses I've ever suffered was the 89 playoffs, the divisional playoff against the Rams. Flipper Anderson through the tunnel. I'll never forget that as long as I live. But the Rams are good. I mean, Jim Everett was a pretty good quarterback. Kevin Green was good on that team. Remember, who the hell was? You guys had another really good defensive player. You also had Flipper Anderson, Henry Ellard, and obviously Eric Dickerson. You had another good pass rusher on that Rams team, and I don't remember who it was. The Rams are good though. The Rams are good. I think John Robinson was your head coach. Rams and Giants had a lot of good battles in the 80s. We beat you in 84 in the playoffs. Beat us in 89. Steven Braccio-Forte. Hey, paisano. Good to see you, my man. Been a while. Thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Really appreciate that. He says, Mara needs to turn the keys over to somebody, not say a word. Riddick looks the part. Let's be fair. Louis Riddick also said he wanted Dwayne Haskins. Terrible. Then he said he wanted Isaiah Simmons. Simmons hasn't been good either. I don't know what Simmons is doing this year, but he hasn't been really good. I wanted Simmons too, but I'm not a GM. Kevin Green was one of them, Steve. I'm trying to think of the other guy. They had another guy that was pretty good on the line that I thought. Johnny, thank you, brother. Let the wife. My wife wouldn't wear that either. My wife wouldn't wear that thing. My wife wants me. If my wife ever wanted me to get away from her, she could put that thing on. It's like, that's bad dog repellent, the Eagles jersey. You know. Who was the guy? Who the hell was their guy? They had another good pass rusher. Bringing John Madden there. No, Atwater was a Bronco. No, who had another good? I thought they had another good pass rusher besides Kevin Green on those Rams teams, and I can't remember who it was. I remember. But being coach, yeah. So I don't know, man. The Giants. I love doing the hangouts and stuff. Like I love hanging out with you guys. It's been a long time. Like I was looking through my Youngblood was a little before that. Youngblood was like late 70s, early 80s. It's not Jack Youngblood. Although he was really good, but it's not him. It's not him that I'm thinking of. I can't think of who that was. Orphanage Ground, thank you, buddy. We suck, but the Jets green is better than Eagle Booger green. I also used to like your old Jets logo with the jet when Wesley Walker and Al Toon were catching passes from Kenny O'Brien. I like the 80s Jets uniforms. Your uniforms now are terrible. I think both the Giants and the Jets should bring back the old. Listen, the Giants wore them old helmets against Eagles, right? 4 turnovers. The Jets and Giants should both go back to their 80s uniforms. Both of them. I liked those. I liked the 80s Jets. I liked Wesley Walker and Al Toon, Johnny Hector, Freeman McNeil, Eric McMillan. Because I was always a secondary guy. I liked Eric McMillan a lot. It wasn't Fred Strickland. I can't think of who the hell the guy is. He was a lineman. I can't remember who it was. Mike Mercedes, I appreciate it, buddy, but the owner's not going to make me lose my marbles. I lost my marbles a long time ago. I lost my marbles a long time ago. I never liked those red jerseys. We should not bring those back. Never liked the red jersey. We never wanted those things. Give me the 80s stuff. If nothing else, at least allow me to be nostalgic and remember when we actually were a good team. That'd be nice. That'd be nice. No, Klecko was a Jet. Joe Klecko was a Jet with Mark Gastineau as part of the. I'm talking about the Rams. The Rams had a good pass rusher other than Kevin Green, and I can't remember who the hell it was. Double Star's jacked. Much respect, my friend. Much respect. Let's go. I had to gym a little bit. Much respect. I always respect the gym rats. It takes a lot of work to get that thing going, especially when you're my age. It's almost impossible. I'm freaking old as dirt. I'm old as dirt. You guys realize, man, that I am. Who's the Floyd guy? It wasn't Fred Dean. I have to look it up because this is gonna bother me. This is gonna bother me. This is gonna bother me. Maybe they didn't have one. Maybe it was just Kevin Green. Maybe it was. Maybe it was just Kevin Green. Yeah, you know what? They didn't have anybody else. Unless they got somebody later. Maybe they didn't have anybody. Kevin Green had 16 and a half sacks in 1989 for the Rams. The next closest guy was Mike Wiltshire at 5. That's not who I was thinking of. So maybe it was just Kevin Green. Maybe that's the guy I was thinking of, and that's it. Abe, brother, thank you, man. Really appreciate the super chat. Thank you. He says, if we fired Joe Judge, was this a warning about first-year head coaches? Who would you like as a replacement? Would you give up draft capital for? Yes. I would definitely, not a first-round pick, but I would. To me, Abe, Sean Payton fixes a lot what's wrong with this team. A lot. Look at it. Look at this. The Chiefs didn't really play well tonight. They still win. But there was a screen pass. I think it was to Edwards-Helaire. I think that was the back. And I don't remember if it was Edwards-Helaire or Williams. I forgot who it was. They got 35 yards. And I just watched the way they set the screen pass up. And there's 3 linemen out there blocking. And Creed Humphrey, the center, and how you guys know for years, since Creed was a freshman at Oklahoma, I have touted how good Creed Humphrey would be. And I wanted Creed Humphrey. And I kept saying the Giants got to get Creed. The Giants got to get Creed Humphrey. Creed Humphrey's out there kicking out the block, making it happen. Creed Humphrey is probably the best center in the NFL, and he's a rookie. All I can say is this. When I talk about anybody out of the Big 12, I'm wrong about a lot of things. I completely admit that, definitely. But when I talk about players coming out of the Big 12, I am right a lot of the time. I am definitely more right than wrong when I talk about players coming out of the Big 12. Baker, definitely not as good as I thought. I thought Baker would be better. I never thought Baker would be elite, but I thought Baker could be a top 10 quarterback. He's not a top 10 quarterback. I was wrong about Baker, but Kyler's a superstar. CeeDee Lamb's a superstar. Jalen Reagor sucks. Jalen Hurts sucks. And Creed is a beast. And I love Pat Mahomes. But Danny Duds. Guys love Chris's picture. Drafting Danny set this team back. Yeah, you're not wrong about that. Like I said, Chris and I go back and I watch some of our first you damn right, Double Star. You damn right, sir. So, weightlifting it's not easy. It's not easy, man. Pimping ain't easy, Double Star. That ain't easy, brother. But if you have a passion for it, you're going to do it. So everybody that asks me about fitness, I always say you got to find something you like doing, because it is not easy. It's hard, especially when you get to be my age, because there's just days my body's like, man, you're 45. I'm actually closer to 50 than I am 40 now. Like I'm going on 46, and my body's sometimes like, dude, you're 46. You need to take a day off. My muscles may be younger, my physique may look younger, but my tendons and my bones are like, bro, you're 46. You put a lot of stress on them bones and tendons from playing sports when you were younger and working out. You need a day off. Patrick, New York sports curse. Well, we got the Rangers. The Rangers are pretty good. Shouldn't have drafted Saquon. A lot of people didn't like the Saquon pick. I can't go back now and say, oh, I didn't want Saquon. I was happy when we got Saquon. Very happy. I'm not gonna change that now. I was happy. I thought Saquon was the right pick. Yes. Much respect. That's what I'm talking about. Now, much respect. See, when I'm 50, I want to be looking like Double Star. Also, I want to point out Double Star, shaved head, just like yours truly. Point that out. That's right. I should grow a beard. I could grow a beard. 46 is a new 32. God forbid. God bless you, Rio. God bless you. Billy, man, thank you so much for the super chat, man. I really appreciate it. A little $2. Boom. Appreciate it. He has been snake bit, but again, it was the wrong pick. We can talk about injuries all we want. If you're injured, you're injured, right? There's not much you can do. He might crack the top 32, maybe. What does that say? Shaggy, this isn't. I can't see it because of the thing. Like Zoink Scuba. Thank you, Double Star. Appreciate that. Who was the worst quarterback to ever step on the field? Oh God, I mean it's probably Ron Pisarcik or Craig Morton. They were awful. They were before my time. I mean, I was born, but I wasn't. In my lifetime, the worst quarterback that I've seen probably was Dave Brown. Dave Brown was complete crap. He was really, really bad. Really bad. Dave Brown sucked. That was probably the worst. Scott Bruner was a little bit. Scott Bruner played in 83. I didn't start watching the Giants until 84. Kent Graham was bad. Danny Cannell was bad, but I feel like Dave Brown was a little worse than them. Gary Collins was pretty good for us. Eli obviously is a Hall of Famer. So I would say probably Dave Brown in my lifetime was the worst. And of course he came from Duke. Of course he did. Billy, man, thank you. I really appreciate the super chat. He says, hey, man, I love your work. The Giants need players as good as Panarin, Fox, and Eagle. Yeah. Listen, and thank you, Billy, for the comment. I appreciate it. Listen, I always say this. I don't claim to be a diehard Rangers fan. I definitely watch all the games now. Hot Take Hockey really got me back. Watching Hot Take Hockey do his streams and watch his videos and how passionate he is about hockey, and watching, like, when we had the pandemic and the playoff, and I was working from home, and the hockey playoffs, where the Rangers were in it, they were kind of like in a play-in, and he was doing the games, and I was hanging out there. I really found the love for hockey again that I had in the middle 90s. And I've always watched the Rangers casually, especially when they got the playoffs. Like I watched every Ranger playoff game. But if they won a Stanley Cup, I wouldn't sit there and claim to be the biggest Ranger fan ever. But I absolutely love Adam Fox. And if I was ever going to buy a Rangers jersey, it'd be Adam Fox. Adam Fox has what? Like 8 assists in the last 6 games. He leads all defensemen in points. The guy's the second coming to Brian Leetch. Now, hopefully we can win a Stanley Cup. But Brian Leetch was a really good defenseman for the Rangers too. And I love Adam Fox. I love Adam Fox. And Shesterkin's been amazing. Shesterkin's been awesome. Luckily, we dodged a bullet that Shesterkin's only out for like a week. But Georgiev has done a good job. Georgiev came in and played very, very well the other night. I think we got a shutout. Why the hell can't I think of who the hell we played? Oh, the Sharks. Beno Seri, man, thank you so much. I appreciate you. That's got to be Italian. Paisano, grazie. He says, went to the game today. What a huge disappointment Judge was. I can't stand this team. All these Giants fans come out for this BS. I know, man. It's so disappointing. It's disheartening. It's disheartening to go into a game knowing you're going to lose. You know, that's the way we feel. That's the way I feel. Like I always feel like Lafreniere ain't been really good. Lafreniere's been a disappointment. If I could say, Lafreniere had a lot of hype coming out in the draft, and he really hasn't been great. He got demoted to the fourth line. I think he's up to the third line now. Definitely not as good as I thought he'd be. And Kako, or Kako, however you say it, he's been okay, but not, again, the Rangers are really young. The Rangers got a lot of good time. I think Lafreniere will be really good. He just hasn't developed yet. He's 20. So let's give the kid a chance. Yeah, it's rough. Like I always, when I'm thinking with my heart, I always feel like we can win like every game. When I think with my head, I just know we're defeated. Like I'm defeated before they get on the field. And part of me feels like the Giants feel defeated before they get on the field. When you've lost for this long, do you really think these players go out there going, yeah, we have a chance to win today? No. You know, they don't. Abe, thank you, brother. I appreciate the super chat, my man. He says, I don't think DJ set us back. He did. But it's a total Dave get him in draft class the last 4 years, other than Thomas, knock on wood. How bad does that was the thing. So I didn't understand this, Abe. And I talked about it earlier. I don't know if you were in here or not when I mentioned that we didn't address the offensive line at all this offseason, and it was a travesty. I didn't even mention Zeitler, but yeah, we had to dump our best offensive lineman and Kevin Zeitler for in order to sign guys like Adoree Jackson and Leonard Williams and Kenny Golladay. We had to, right? Made sense. Didn't like it, but understood it. But then you go into the year saying, we believe in our three guys. We believe in Lemieux. Now Lemieux got hurt. We believe in Thomas. We believe in Parrott. Now, Nate Solder has been so bad. Solder has been god-awful. Awful. He's our worst-rated lineman on our line. And Matt Parrott can't beat him out. And Joe Judge is losing. Joe Judge is in complete denial, or he's just insane because he says he's seen improvement in Nate Solder. What the hell? What are you looking at? How do you, if Matt Parrott is that bad when you're 4-8, that you can't put him on the field to see what he can do in games that mean nothing for you, in place of a 33 or 34-year-old guy who can't block my mother? How do you not address the offensive line? How do you go into the year with Matt Parrott as your right tackle, or say, we're going to look at Matt Parrott, we're going to look at it, we believe in these draft picks, and you go into the year and Solder has been so bad that Matt Parrott can't beat him out, and you don't address the line in the draft at any one of your picks or in free agency? How do you explain that? How do you sell the fans on we believe in these guys, and then they can't even get on the field, and Nate Solder is one of the worst right tackles in football? It pisses me off. The things, the hypocrisy that these guys do, that the lies that come out of our head coach and our GM, you're lying to your fan base. You selling us a bill of goods. And I'm telling you, it ain't going to work anymore. You're going to see those empty seats at MetLife Stadium, Mara. You're going to see Giants fans saying, to hell with it, we're selling our tickets to the opposing team. And when the Cowboys come in here in a couple weeks, that'll be all Dallas fans. Or 75% will be Cowboys fans. You will hear cheers for Dallas way more than you hear for New York. Because Giants fans are going to be saying, I don't want these tickets. I already bought them here. Cowboys fans, you have them. Go ahead. Have fun. Go kick our ass. Go kick our ass again like you've been doing for 5 years. I'm so sick of it. I'm up to my ears. We're all up to our ears with the bullshit that this team has sold us. There isn't a big enough shovel to shovel this crap out that they sell us. Abe, thank you for the super chat, man. I really appreciate it. Our talent evaluation is the worst in the league. Oh, that is facts. That is facts. That is facts. Mr. Mini Guy says, bad dog speaking facts. Well, I try, but I do believe those are facts. And I that's why I get so mad. I like somebody else said on the channel, like, oh, Judge ain't the only clown. This clown getting mad about a bad team. Yeah, I'm going to get mad about a bad team. You know why? Because I like when people say, why do you get mad about the Giants? The Giants suck. Why do you get mad? Because I love them, because they are a part of my life, because I care. People I don't tell anybody how to be a fan. Don't tell me how to react to a loss. If people are, oh, well, we tried. Oh, we tried. Go pick up your participation trophy and set it on your mantle like you won something and be proud that you participated. I don't want to participate. I want to win. That's my mentality. I want to win. I don't give a damn if I'm out on the field. And I'm going to go off on another rant here in a second. Joe, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Yeah. This is probably true. Well, I have to look at the tape, Joe. I don't know if that's a fact. I got to go look at the tape. I can't say that's true or not. I got to go look at the tape. You know what really pisses me off? You know what I really can't stand? When people talk about the team and you say we suck. We're a terrible organization. We can't beat anybody. We got to do better. We're disgraceful. And people say to you, why do you say we? Why do you say we? You don't play for the team. Let me tell you people something. We, the fans, me, everybody in this chat, everybody that goes to those games every week, everybody that watches, the millions of people that watch the Giants on television, we are the reason you exist. We buy the tickets. We buy the merchandise. We pay for parking. We travel to the games. We sit in traffic. We pay for the concessions that are ridiculous. We do that. Without we, there's no you. So don't ever tell me or any fan that, oh, it's not we. It is we. Because without we, you players don't collect a check. You owners don't collect a check. Why do franchises move from city to city? Why? Oh, we're not making any money because nobody's going to the game. So we better move so that we can make some money. Everybody in this chat, everybody that goes to those games, we are all part of the New York Giants. Every last one. Every last one. People don't understand that. Every fan is part of the team. The New York Giants are we. So when we say we, that is correct. If I say we suck, that's right. Or I always love when I say Daniel Jones sucks. Oh, can you do better? Well, this is your proving. You are comparing Daniel Jones to me. That's the best argument you have for Daniel Jones. That I can't do better? No, I can't. Because if I could, I wouldn't be sitting here. So obviously I can't. Why are you comparing Daniel Jones to a YouTube content creator? This is how low you have to compare Daniel Jones to somebody. Oh, you can't do better. Well, no kidding. You've never played quarterback. You don't know. Yeah, I've never directed a film before either, but I can tell you when a film stinks. That always makes you laugh because then people are like, you can't say nothing because you don't. So nobody can ever have an opinion unless you've experienced something. Some people are crazy. I'm crazy too. Jared, thank you, man. I appreciate you. He says, I'm typing on 2 accounts. It's me. Asia married. I don't know where Asia is. Where is Asia? Somebody said we suck, period. That's right, Rio. We suck. That's right. Jeffy, thank you for being a member for 2 months. I'm so sick of this team depressing us. Yeah, don't even depress me. It just makes me mad now. It just makes me mad. We suck. That's correct. We suck. We, the Giants, suck, period. That's correct. Don't ever let if you guys ever address The Giants as we, or when you're talking about the Giants and you address them as we, or you say we need to do this, or we need to, somebody says you're not part of the team. Don't ever let anybody tell you that. You are absolutely a part of that team. You don't play for the team, but you are part of it. You are part of it. Because like I said, why did the Montreal Expos move? Why do teams move? Because nobody's going to the games and they got to get out of there so that they can find some fans. Without the fans, there's no team. That's a fact. There is no denying that. D Knight, man, thank you. I really appreciate the super chat. He says, Mike Glennon. Yeah, somebody, he says, Mike Glennon threw more balls out of bounds than on the field. Also, why is Sterling Shepard still on this team? I don't think Shep will be here next year. I think Shep's gone. Shep has been a major disappointment for me as an OU fan. I was so excited when we got Sterling Shepard. And Shepard had such a good rookie season. I thought Shep was going to be good. And he's soft. Tissue paper. Like most of our team. But yeah, somebody put that Mike Glennon. I saw a comment somewhere that said Glennon threw more balls out of bounds than on the field. There was a couple of those he had. I'm like, what in the hell are you doing? Like Glennon had like 4 seconds to throw the ball and he just looked and just tossed it out of bounds. It's like that one play was like, my first read ain't there. I'm throwing it completely out of bounds. It's because I'm the actual Jared happily married. No, I don't know where Asia is, though, is what I'm saying. I don't know where Asia is. Jeffy, man, thank you, brother. Appreciate the super chat. He says, we looked at the tape. The results, we suck. That's right. That's right. And I'll be honest, Jeffy, I don't think we need to look at the tape to know we suck. We watch the games. We know. We know. Shaw, man, thank you. Appreciate you. Is this 70s bad? Well, I'm not that old. I'm old. I'll be honest though, Shaw, there is definitely guys that are on my channel that come into live streams, that comment on the videos. They've been around in the 70s, and a lot of them will tell you this is worse. A lot of them will tell you this is worse than the 70s. And the 70s are bad. My dad grew up in the 70s. So when the Giants won the Super Bowl in 86, my father, I tell a story all the time. My dad had tears in his eyes. I was 10. And he said to me, kid, enjoy. You don't know if you're ever going to see another one, because my dad had never saw one. My dad never saw them. I think 63, they made the championship. He was 9. But then they didn't do anything from 64 to 83. They made the playoffs once in 20 years. And then obviously I started watching them in 84 and they got really good. My hope is, I was born in 76. The Giants were 0-9 to start the year. They finished 2-12. It was probably the worst team ever for the Giants when I was born. And then when my son was born in 2017, the Giants, for the only time in their history, lost 13 games. So terrible team in 2017. My hope is by 2025, they're in the playoffs again. Hopefully this cycle continues. When I was 5, the Giants made the playoffs. He'll be 5 next year. Maybe we have a chance. Maybe the Giants make the playoffs in 2022, stink, and then win the Super Bowl in 2025. Hopefully that cycle continues. Mike, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. He says every game, every year for 55 years, right there. I like how you ended it. You had to end it with right there. Right there. God bless you, sir. 55 years as a Giants fan. So you have seen really good in 55 years. How far does that go back? 55 is what? 1966? 60? No. My math's off. 1960. What's it? 2020? Yes, 1966. So you saw a lot. You actually didn't see the really good Giants teams in the late 50s, early 60s. So you saw the really crappy era. So you were probably my dad. I don't know how old you are. You're probably like my father, how old my father would be, somewhere in there. Because my dad was born in 54. He would have been a Giants fan for 58 years at this point. So you're right around that age. But you grew up with terrible Giants football and then got to see all the glory in the 80s. And obviously 07 and 11, and now you're going through this. So you've seen 2 really bad eras of Giants football. Yeah, there we got time. Thank you, man. I really appreciate the super chat. He says, hi, bad dog. I lost my wrench. I've been a good moderator besides my distaste for not drafting Claypool. I took everybody's wrench away. We got time. I had a problem with somebody hiding everybody. And honestly, I have not added any. I have pretty much kept the same. I think I have 8 moderators, maybe 12. I might have to redo some of them because there was definitely some moderators I never see anymore, which just means I have to thin it out more. I let my moderators decide because they're in the chat more than me. They know who's in there more frequently than not. So I let them decide. I trust their judgment. Oh, 1953. So, you were born in 53. So my dad was born in 54. So there you go. There you go. Right there, Mike. Right there. You're right there. So you're 68. 68. My dad would have been 67. God rest his soul. Thank God. God rest his soul. God rest his soul. My dad ain't got to watch this. My dad passed away, 2015. I was 39. So he hasn't had to watch bad Giants football. Johnny, man, thank you. Really appreciate the super chat. Says, Bad Dog, you know what's crazy? Within the last 20 years, Giants have been the best team, even with my Eagles, 5 straight NFC championships games, 1 Super Bowl title. Well, yeah, I mean, if you go back 20 years, yeah. But that's awesome. Listen, I'm fortunate that I've seen the Giants win 4 Super Bowls. A lot of fans don't get to see that. Unless Cowboy fans were born in the 50s or the 60s, like the early 60s, they didn't see all the Cowboys championships. I mean, in order to have actually remembered the last Cowboys championship, you'd have to be in your middle 30s. So they haven't seen anything. The Eagles have seen 1. And same thing with Washington. You'd have to go way back. You'd have to be older than me to remember the first one that they won in 1982. So I'm fortunate, but I'm sick of losing. I want to win all the time. I'm spoiled. I want to win. I'm sick of this. I haven't dealt with this. I was spoiled from 1984 to 2012. The Giants were very good. The Giants they were one of the best organizations in football for that 28-year block. And since then, they've been really, really bad. Blake, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Does it ever feel like Joe Judge steals personality traits and quotes from good coaches? He can't coach, but he can talk like, yes. It's a great point. He does. He must like read Vince Lombardi quotes or something. The only difference is Vince Lombardi got his players to perform. Joe Judge doesn't. And my Jeffrey, thank you, brother. You are 100% right on Creed Humphrey. Oh, he isn't a 1 center in the NFL. Once in a while, I get stuff right. Once in a while. Nobody, I appreciate you mentioning that because nobody ever mentions when I'm right. They want to come back and go, you're wrong. There you go. Watch 80. There you go, Mike. There you go. Lot in common, my man. Lot in common, brother. Jared, thank you. He says, I'm telling the truth, not troll. We married Asia. I don't know what that means. I don't know where Asia is. Where is Asia? Asia was in here earlier. Asia was in here earlier. I love the price. Yeah, no, I said that, Johnny. If he wins a national championship and he wants to walk away from Michigan, I'd give him a blank check and say, go ahead, name your price, sir. Name your price. You know? Yeah, I know that's a fake Jared Williams. I know it is. I just don't know where Asia is what I'm saying. Well, yes, but that Hunter, that's not a quote. That's not a quote. He got that quote from Ben McAdoo. Ben McAdoo used to say, I have to go look at the tape. That was a McAdoo specialty. I think that is something that John Mara tells the coaches to say because the last 3 head coaches that we've had has said, I got to go back and look at the tape. McAdoo, Shermer, and now Judge. How many of Belichick's former coordinators? None. I would say the best one, and he wasn't even really good, was Josh McDaniels. Vrabel played for Belichick, never coached for Belichick, but the rest of them sucked. Josh McDaniels ain't even good, but he's the best of the bunch, you know. D Nightman, thank you. Really appreciate the super chat, brother. He says, I'd rather take first season by McAdoo, the nerd that held the play card up to his big nose and big glasses over Judge. So would I. And I know something about having a big nose. I would much rather have that too. I'd much rather have Ben McAdoo with the before he slicked back his hair, he had the terrible mustache. And he used to hold the big Denny's menu up to his nose. Yeah. I would rather have him too. Robert says, as a Broncos fan, I know what it's like to suck. I feel your pain. You guys, it's weird. The Broncos are such a weird team. You blow out Dallas. You lose to Philadelphia. It's weird. Like losing to the Chiefs in Arrowhead is that's nothing to be ashamed of. But you guys are so weird. Like 1 week you look like you're going to, go on a roll. And the next week it's like, what the hell are the Broncos? You guys are having a weird year. You and the Bengals, very similar teams. 1 week you guys are sky high. The next week it's like, we can't beat anybody. It's weird how that works. It's weird. When we were doing the stream, I see somebody mention the Lions. When we were doing the stream today, I told Chris that the Vikings had won. Because when I looked at the scoreboard, I could have swore it said 27-23 final. I could have swore it said that. Next thing I know, I go upstairs, I put on Red Zone, and I see that the Lions ended up winning the game. Chris got that one right. He said that if they were going to win, they'd probably beat the Vikings, and that's exactly what they did. Jared says, I answered your question perfectly, Afghan bro. I don't know where Asia is. But thank you for the super chat, Jared. I appreciate it. You don't know a consistent team in the AFC? I would say, I don't know if there is one. The Pats have been pretty consistent lately. Troy, you're right. I mean, you guys lost to the state. The Ravens are another one. Ravens beat the Chiefs. Ravens get crushed by the Bengals. They lose to the Steelers. The AFC is weird. It is weird. Yes. Do you know what's funny? Amazing guy. I picked the Lions to win. I thought the Lions would win that game on Thanksgiving. And of course they blew it. One thing I'll say about, where'd that go? Chris also said Georgia would beat Alabama. Yeah, but I thought Georgia would beat Alabama too, and it did not happen. I think a lot of people thought Georgia was a 6.5 point favorite in that game. A lot of people thought Georgia was going to win. Bama fans are right. Nick says, I wish Dan Campbell's right. Yeah, Dan Campbell came right out and called Jared Goff out. Said a quarterback needs to play better. Came right out and said it. Came right out and said the quarterback. I like that. Sometimes you have to do that to your players. He's got to play better. Come out and say it. Don't be like, well, he did some good things out there today. He made some improvements. Shut up. He didn't do good enough. He's got to do better. Just come out and own it. Just come out and own it. Nathan, thank you, man. I appreciate the super chat. He says, as a Bears fan, I feel your pain about hating your coach. I don't think you're going to keep Nagy there much longer. I think Nagy's going at the end of the year. And yeah, the Bears, I mean, it's another team. They had a pretty good run with a great defense, but the quarterback, Trubisky, was not really good. Not a guy that's going to get you over the top. Obviously, the Bears have only won one Super Bowl. And again, you'd have to be my age to remember that because I was really young when they won that Super Bowl. The Bears got to a Super Bowl loss at the Colts, and they've been close. But yeah, they're regressing too. And I'll be honest, Nathan, I don't think Justin Fields is a guy. I don't think Justin Fields is going to be that good in the NFL. I do not like Ohio State quarterbacks at all. And I said if anybody would succeed to be Fields, but I don't trust them. I don't trust USC quarterbacks. I don't trust Florida quarterbacks. There's just some schools I don't think produce good NFL products because of the system that they come from. Graham, thank you, man. Really appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat. He says, going to break into the Giants facility and steal Price's, Soldiers, and Skurrisgill. While I'm at it, I'm going to vandalize Judge's office. Look at the tape, Joe. Just destroy all of his tapes, Graham. Throw all of his tapes in a dumpster and light it on fire. That's symbolic of what the Giants are. A complete and always dumpster, just a dumpster fire. Ian, we got time. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it. So just playing about the wrench, but seriously love you and everything you've done for me and my channel. You all saw Bad Dog 100% real. Hit the likes. Thank you, Ian. We got time. And check out ENA. Yeah, check out ENA. We got time if you get a chance. He does some player interviews and stuff with some. I would like to do that someday. Have a player on here or something. I don't think a player would want to come on with me because I'm not the media. I'm not going to kiss your ass. No, I don't think a player would want to take me on. I don't think they'd want that. The first question I'd ask them, like, I'm done with this. I don't want to answer that. But I appreciate anyone got time. Thank you, my man. Then, yeah, hit those likes if you haven't. We got 313. You still got 474. If we get 350, that'd be pretty cool. Jared, thank you. I appreciate it. He says, I'm a lucky 23-year-old man with Asia. I don't know where Asia is. Where is Asia? Asia, hello. Diehard Giants fan. What's good, buddy? Always good to see my man. Diehard Giants fan. ENA, we got time. Thank you, brother. He says, I appreciate the super chat very much. He says, about 10 margaritas in. There you go. And I don't blame you. Joe Judge turned me into an alcoholic. Yeah, I drank 4 of these today. And I don't remember the last time I drank beer. I drank 4 of these pints today. Probably won't drink again, but those were good. I started with an Alabama Slammer last week. I probably should have done the same thing. What's going on, Kelly? Thank you. Appreciate it. What's going on, my man? You're not PC, right? No, I'm not PC right there, Mike. Definitely not, brother. Definitely not. They would hate me. They would hate me. I'd come out and ask, what do you think the problem is? What do you think the problem is? What do you think the issue is? Why can't you guys get it together? I don't give a damn who the player is. They could be Graham Gano. They could be Riley Dixon. They could be the guy that freaking washes the jock straps. What do you think the main issue is with the Giants? Why can't you guys get it together? Why do you continuously fall short? Why can't you win games? I'd love to just hear the answer to that. Well, I got to go look at the tape right there. Joe Judge told me I got to go look at the tape. Minshew made it. Listen, I've been telling Eagle fans from day one, Hurts ain't the guy. Play Minshew. Well, I think the top 3 concerns are on this team: offensive line, quarterback, coaching. Honestly. Offensive line first, quarterback second, coaching third. GM's going to be gone. But coaching is a major problem here. He is too conservative. Both offense and defense is conservative. Patrick Graham don't blitz. Soft zone, conservative, prevent. No chances, no shots down the field, conservative, prevent offense. It's all Joe Judge. It's Joe Judge's fault. Use Jason Garrett as a scapegoat. Use Colombo as a scapegoat last year. Hard to use Patrick Graham as one because the defense is the only reason we're in half of these games. As much as I hate that stupid zone, it does keep us in the game. And we got time. Thank you, man. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, I think I could start billing my tab to John Mara. I know he's got money. Yo, he's got a lot of money. He should have more money because he should just sell the team. He should sell the team. He should sell the team. Yeah, where'd that go? Be creative. Yeah, Scout teach Judge had to use the head. I gotta go look at the tape right there. I gotta go look at the tape on how to wear my headphones. I gotta look at the tape on how to wear my headphones. Like, I can't see the game. Like, I don't understand why I can't see. I have a hard time understanding why I can't hear anything. Like, sometimes you have these plays, and I gotta go to the table. Why can't I hear it? I gotta call timeout. I gotta call timeout right there. 2nd down 23 from our 7. I gotta call timeout right there. I don't want the delay of games. I gotta call timeout right there. And then in the same drive, I'm gonna take a delay of game. That is not a microcosm of Joe Judge. I don't know what is. 2nd and 23. Timeout. 10-6 game. Timeout. 10 minutes to go in 3rd quarter. Can't take a delay of game right there. But on 3rd and 25 or whatever the hell it was, then I can take the delay of game. How do you even have that happen? How do you have the play clock run down twice in the same series when you didn't even go anywhere? Like, if you have a long play down the field, the Giants had a 55-yard play, and the team has to run up to go. They all have to get 55 yards down the field. I can understand the play clock winding down. But when you have not even advanced the football and actually went backwards, how the hell does a play clock run out twice? Does not make sense. Jared, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. The better Jared here. Okay. I still don't know where Asia is. 70 says Washington. Much respect. Much respect to this. Much respect to this Washington fan. Number one, I hope that's right. I will root for Washington over Dallas or Philadelphia any day of the week. As a matter of fact, in all your Super Bowls, well, I only saw 2. I was too young in 82. But 87, I rooted for you. 91, I rooted for you. And the reason I say respect is because I love the history of football. And this right here, 70 chip, that is the play on 4th down and 1 from the 42 against the Dolphins when they were trailing 17-13 early in the fourth quarter. John Riggins took the ball off left tackle and beat and shoved Don McLean into the ground right there as you see the stiff arm, and he took the ball 42 yards for a touchdown. And you hear that, and I'm not even a Washington fan, but you hear that diesel horn go off. It gives me chills. That is one of the most iconic plays in the history of the NFL is John Riggins' touchdown run of Super Bowl 17. So 70 chip, this tells me right here that guy's a true Washington fan, because I can tell you this, there's not a lot of Washington fans that would know what the hell that 70 chip is. There's not a lot of football fans that would know what the hell a 70 chip is. But that just goes to show you that Bad Dog knows some football. But I like the name, 70 chip. I like it. RZA, Jizza, and I also know my rap music because we know this is the RZA, the Jizza, the Ghostface Killing, the Old Dirty Bastard. Wu-Tang, thank you, brother. He says the timeout was because he can't do math. It was awful. Yeah, he's like Rain Man, but not good at math. That's Joe Judge. That is Joe Judge. Blake, excuse me. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. He says, look at the bright side. Only 5 weeks of pain left. You're right. You're right about that, too. Blake, you've been 3 for 3 tonight, my man. 3 for 3. Open up a soda here. Jared, thank you. Appreciate you. Fake Jared. He says, it's hilarious. Appreciate it. Davey says he was trying to... But like I said, it is 3rd and long, and then he takes a delay a game. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Yeah, I'm 45, but I definitely grew up in the 80s. I've been, like I said, I've been watching the Giants since 1984, and always Washington and the Giants. CBS 4:00, Pat Summerall, John Madden. It was the best. It was the best. In the late 80s, we definitely got the best of Washington. Like 86, the Washington lost 5 games the entire year in 86, and we were 3 of them. But Washington, from 1982 to 1991, Washington was, outside of the Niners, was the best team in the NFL. They won 3 Super Bowls, and they made 4. And the 83 Redskins were the highest scoring offense in the history of football until the Patriots, I believe, or maybe the 98 Vikings beat them. Riggins had 24 touchdowns that year, or 22, something like that. But then the Raiders just matched up because of the cornerbacks. They were able to match up, and they were able to bring up extra guys and stop Riggins. But the Redskins, they were really good in the 80s. And I miss that too. I've always respected Washington. I don't like Washington as a Giants fan, obviously, but I've always respected Coach Gibbs. I loved Coach Gibbs. Doug Williams, amazing. Who's the guy? Not Dexter. Dexter Manley was good. Charles Mann, Darryl Green, the posse, Ricky Sanders, Art Monk, Gary Clark. Like, I really like those. The Hogs. And, of course, Riggins. If you're a football fan, you love John Riggins. How do you not? The Diesel. Is there a cooler nickname than the Diesel? The Diesel. That was fun. It was good old days. Now the Giants stink. There you go. The best way to avoid 3rd and long is to get yourself into 4th and long. It's true. Remember that windy game with the trash? Yes. Yeah. Dude, that was the 80s. That was the NFC Championship game in 86. We won 17-0. But you're right. Because I remember, Mike, the mayor of New York, I think it was Koch. I think it was Mayor Koch at the time, did not want to give the Giants a parade because they played in New Jersey. So he was having a fit about that. So the Giants didn't think that they would get a parade if they won the Super Bowl. So that was kind of their celebration, was throwing all the garbage on the field. And because of the winds that were gusting up to 40 miles an hour, it was just blowing around. Yeah, I remember that. Those are good times. That's childhood memories, man. To this day, the only opposing stadium I've ever visited in my life was the old RFK in '86 when Lawrence Taylor had 3 sacks in the first half and Jay Schrader threw 6 interceptions. I always loved the Washington Giants rivalry. Always. Davey says, I've been watching this since the 80s. The worst game I've ever seen. You know what's funny, Davey? That I would say that. I feel like I say that every week. I feel like I say that every week. I feel like I say it every week. I do. I feel like every week I say this is the worst game I've ever seen. This is the worst game I've ever seen. And I feel like every year I'm like, this is the worst Giants team I've ever seen. It really sucks. It really sucks. Yes, I agree. The Redskins should have kept their name. I agree. I'm on the Linderbaum train at all costs. I don't care if it's a center at 5 or 6. Listen, I love Tyler Linderbaum. Tyler Linderbaum is a Big Ten Offensive Lineman of the Year. If Evan Neal's not there and Nathan Hutchinson's not there, they probably won't be because they're both of them are probably going to the top 3. I'll take Tyler Linderbaum at 5 or 6. I got no problem with that. We need to build a line here. And then take another offensive line with the Bears pick. I want 2 offensive linemen in the top 10. I don't give a damn. I want to fix this offensive line. This offensive line sucks. Bad. Fix it. If you had 2 really good linemen in this year's draft class and you added it to Andrew Thomas, then you're building something. Then you got something to build on. Then when you get some cap space in 2023, then you add a good free agent lineman. Ninja, thank you, brother. Really appreciate the super chat, man. Fundamentals. Yeah, that's right. Fundamentals, bad dog. It's fundamentals. That's right. So it's all about fundamentals right there. It's all about fundamentals. I do my best fundamentals when I check the tape right there. I'm gonna do. Let me do my Joe Judge here. Here you go. So we're gonna welcome here Joe Judge. Let me go. All right. First thing I want to say is that it's a really good team over there. A really good team on the other side of the field. They did a really good job today. I thought we did some good things. I thought the offensive looked really good today. We were able to move the ball. We did some really nice things on offense. I thought the defense played well. They didn't get any big plays. We kind of kept everything in front of us. I felt like we got some good pressure on Tua. I felt like he had to make the plays. I feel like we got to get better in some aspects of the game. Obviously today wasn't good enough, and we have to go back and we have to look at things. We have to make some changes on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. We got to figure out a way to win right there. Sometimes we miss an assignment, and they were able to get a couple of extra points that we couldn't. I felt like the field goals were the right call, and I'm not taking that back. I feel like they were really good. I felt like the offense was starting to move the ball, and he made a couple of mistakes. And it cost us. But I feel like as a team, I feel like we're getting better. We're getting close. And, I think there's just some things we got to do a little bit better right there. And, we'll work on it. We'll go to Los Angeles. We'll try to get a win. We'll be playing together. We'll be on the road. We'll get together. We'll do some good things, and we'll try to get a win. And I will now I'll open up to any questions that you may have. That's Joe Judge. Every damn time. That is Joe Judge. That is Joe Judge. Every time. Every post game. That's him. Everyone. Every one of them. Cracks me up. It really does. He's a joke. He sucks. Sip the juice. Yes, the hardcore diet Pepsi. Because that's what my wife bought. She always gets cans. I say to my wife, I always ask Miss Bad, I'm like, if you're out, can you give me some soda? Because I just go through. I'm a camel. Like, I'm always thirsty. And I talk a lot when I'm on here. So I need a lot to drink, especially during the Laker games, because I'm screaming for 2.5 hours. But she never gets 2 liters. She always gets cans. Always gets cans of soda. But it's great. Yeah, Joe Judge, he does. He blames everybody but himself. You're right. Right. I was there for a second in Afghanistan. I was for a little bit. I did turn into Joe Judge. I channeled my inner Joe Judge. I definitely did. Garrett, I think that he is. I think that he is. Chris, so he was the New England Patriots special teams coordinator. and wide receiver coach. That's where he came from. He came from New England. That's where we got him from. I do not have a mini fridge, Kerm. I do not. Actually, I lie. I think I do. I think I have it over there. I think I still have it. I just don't think it's plugged in. I have to look. I might have thrown it away. I don't even remember. Right now, I don't need the mini fridge. The garage, it's freezing out here. I mean, it's in the 30s here. So for the next 4 months, I can just put my drinks out in the garage. They'll stay cold. Ninja Man, thank you. Really appreciate the super chat. He says it wouldn't matter if the score is 0 to 100. He'll say the team did well, the offense did good, and the defense did well. I got to go look at it. Yeah, that's all he ever says. It does not matter if we lose by 1 or 100. He says the same things. Same things. That's what's maddening. And he calls the same plays, and he does the same things, and we have the same result. Same result. Jeffrey, I was ecstatic about Brent Venables. I wanted Brent Venables. I figured that would be the guy that came back. He came from OU. It made perfect sense. He was a big name in the collegiate ranks. Did a great job as Clemson's defense coordinator. When he was at OU, our defense was actually serviceable. It wasn't one of the worst in the country as it's been since he left. Alex Grinch didn't get it done. Obviously, Mike Stoops is terrible. So I like the Venables hire. I think Venables is going to be a good head coach. I think he'll be better than Lincoln Riley. I'm not a Lincoln Riley fan. I think Lincoln Riley is soft. I've always thought Lincoln Riley was soft. Played a soft schedule, had the best teams by a mile in the Big 12. Couldn't beat anybody out of the SEC. We used to get blown out by everybody in the SEC. Georgia didn't blow us out, but we lost in the Rose Bowl. Blew a big lead in the Rose Bowl. That was on him. Got destroyed by Alabama, then got destroyed by LSU. We also got ripped by Clemson a couple of times, and that was all under his watch. So, yeah. I feel like they regressed every year that Lincoln Riley was there. And I don't think Lincoln Riley was ever in it this year. I think Lincoln Riley knew he was going to USC. I think once Oklahoma made the decision to go to the SEC, Lincoln Riley's like, I'm out of here because I will get exposed in the SEC when I actually have to play real schools and I don't get to play Kansas and I don't get to play Texas Tech and I don't get to play not that Iowa State's not great, but they're not bad. Like he doesn't have Iowa State and he doesn't have TCU in West Virginia. Like you don't have those on a schedule. He's got some real team. He's not going to play Nebraska over there, you know. So Boomer and damn right, Sooner, baby. Sooner. Saquon is playing scared. I've said that before. I agree. I think Saquon's afraid to hit the hole. That explosiveness just isn't there at all. I believe. David says at least the Lakers didn't lose and compound the frustration. Urban Meyer, well, we got Tuesday for that. Urban Meyer wasn't the right coach of the Jags all along. Urban Meyer's a train wreck. Urban Meyer sucks. He won't be there next year. I'll be surprised if he comes back. Lapdance Meyer. Whatever happened to Lapdance Urban? Abe, thank you, man. I really appreciate the super chat. I get not bashing players, so just say it wasn't good enough. So with that being said, I'll open up to any questions. Yeah. He can just say we didn't do. Yeah. I mean, what he has to say is today's effort wasn't good enough. We didn't win. We didn't do enough things to win the game. That's it. That's all he needs to say. We didn't do good enough today. We lost the game. We had a chance to win it. We needed to do better executing certain plays, and maybe the outcome would have been different. That's all he needs to say. D Nightman, thank you. Really appreciate the super chat, brother. Do you think we still have Barkley next year? Personally, I prefer Wade, Gallman, and Booker. I do. They picked up a fifth-year option on Barkley, and unless they can move him for draft capital or something else, I do think he'll be back next year. But I made a video talking about trading Saquon Barkley last year because I felt like when I watched Wayne Gallman run, and I'm not saying that Wayne Gallman was great. He wasn't. But we were winning games with Wayne Gallman in the backfield. And I'm just thinking to myself, I think I made it around the Seattle game. I'm like, we went into Seattle with a back quarterback in Wayne Gallman, and we ran the ball down the throat. Do we really need Saquon Barkley to win games? And I was like, you know what? They ought to listen to trades for him because much like Odell Beckham, as great as Odell was, and as great as Saquon talent-wise is, we're not winning games with those guys. So losing them is really not a big deal. I don't think Barkley will be here past 2022. But I think that unless they find a good trade value for him, I think that he walks. But I do think that he's here next year. I do. Yeah, it is bad. It is, yeah. How is that even possible, Mike? As Uncle Lou would say, how is that possible? How is that even possible that last year's O-line was better? Oh, I know why. We had Zeitler. Gates was healthy, and that's why they should have addressed the offensive line. We had Zeitler. Zeitler made it a lot better. Trade the man. I agree. What was Joe? I think Joe Judge is pleased with himself. I don't know what the hell you're 10-18 as a head coach in the NFL. What the hell could you possibly be pleased with at any point? You've scored one touchdown in the last 2 weeks. As a Notre Dame fan, I'll make sure. Yes, well, I know Notre Dame. That's like the only good team that they play because the Pac-12 is irrelevant. We all know that. The Pac-12 actually doesn't stand for Pacific. The P stands for pathetic. It's the Pathetic Athletic Conference. Nobody cares. Did anybody actually watch the Oregon-Utah Pac-12 championship? And it was almost the same exact score. Utah wiped the floor with them. Actually, Oklahoma gets to play Oregon. That ought to be interesting. Oklahoma should be able to beat Oregon. But yeah, Notre Dame will kill USC. And I'll be rooting for you guys. I'll always root against Lincoln Riley now. I didn't like Lincoln Riley when he was at Oklahoma, but he didn't do it to me as a fan. It's a little different when you're in the NFL. When you're a guy that you're the head coach of a team and you're recruiting kids to come in and they want to come in because they want to play for you, and you've had all these people there that believe in you, and then all of a sudden you just turn your back and you jet somewhere else. That's turning your back on the organization. That's turning your back on the kids, man. That's just lying. He moved laterally. He didn't go to the NFL. If you move to the NFL, it's a step up, and I get that. That's the pinnacle for a head coach. I'd understand if he did that. To move to a lesser conference, they're the worst Power 5 conference in the country, the Pac-12. Nobody cares about the Pac-12. Nobody. It's the SEC, the Big Ten, and everybody else. The Big 12 is going to suffer once Oklahoma and Texas leave. God almighty, it's the Pac-12's terrible. Yeah, Joe Brady's gone. I would not mind Joe Brady coming here. You know, Mike, listen, way back in the day, I kept saying that they ought to try Eric Flowers at guard. And the reason I kept saying this is because Justin Pugh came from Syracuse and they put him at right tackle and he sucked. His arms were short. He wasn't a good tackle. They moved him to guard and he became a pretty good guard. I kept screaming, try Flowers. Now, they did move him to the right side and I thought maybe that was the thing because remember, Flowers played right tackle in Miami. The Giants are the only team that projected him as a left tackle, so he was out of position. And I thought maybe when they moved him to the right tackle, maybe get a little better, but I kept saying, can we try him at guard? And yeah, he's been awesome for Washington. Amazing, isn't it? Amazing. You know why Washington is... I mentioned this earlier, and I don't think I finished my thought on it. Washington wins ugly, but they win. You know why? Coaching. The difference between the Giants and Washington is minimal. The difference between the Giants and Washington is offsides on a missed field goal at the end of the game. That's the difference between the Giants and Washington. Yet we're 4-8 and Washington is 6-6. Why? Coaching. Ron Rivera, good head coach. Joe Judge, he's got to go look at the tape. If we had any kind of a real head coach, the Giants would be 7-4 right now. He lost 3 games, in my opinion. Hey, man, thank you. Really appreciate the super chat. How different would things be if Gates and Lemieux were healthy? Lemieux, I don't know. I don't know what Lemieux is going to be, to be honest. I do think losing Gates hurt. Billy Price is trash. Losing Gates really did hurt. It did. This is why I would like to tell you, you hope that Gates can come back and play. That's why I would like Linderbaum. You put Linderbaum at center. You move Gates to guard where he belongs. You draft the right tackle. You have Andrew Thomas. You got a pretty good line going. But yeah, the line would have been pretty amazing with the guys that you guys both mentioned. Saban, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. He says Riley left because of flashback. He might have. You and Kirby Smart. And not that Ed O's at LSU anymore, but he probably had flashbacks of, oh my God, remember when Joe Burrow put up 7 touchdowns and 400 passing yards against me? Remember when Alabama went up 28-0 against me? Remember when I blew the 31-14 lead at the end of the first half against Georgia in the Rose Bowl? Yeah, he probably did. He probably had flashbacks of all those SEC teams that whooped his ass when it mattered most. Santos, what's going on, buddy? I'm going to get ready to wrap it up here, guys. I appreciate you very much hanging out with me with this therapy session tonight. Great questions and great comments as always. I really needed a therapy session. This team really driving me insane. And again, I really appreciate, you guys always watching the videos, hanging out live streams, hanging out with Chris and I during the shows and all the games. It's just been a really, really bad stretch of Giants football. And the unfortunate thing is, like I said, last year we got a little false hope. I felt like maybe we were getting better. I felt like maybe this was a year that we were going to be competitive. Seeing the way we finished last year, adding Galladay, adding Adoree Jackson, I felt like we could have been better. And unfortunately, we're worse. And the future just doesn't, it's not bright. Like there's no future right now, and it sucks. And I hate it for all the Giants fans out there that the future is it's bleak. And maybe there's by some miracle something does happen where everything turns around in a couple of years, but this is bad. This is bad. This is as bad as it's been. Mike, you don't need to thank me, buddy. I thank you. Because without you guys and girls, there wouldn't be these therapy sessions. There wouldn't be the Giants show. There wouldn't be the Giants videos. I say this all the time. The channel belongs to each and every one of you guys and girls. I just host this channel, but I can't ever, there's never going to be enough words. I can never express my gratitude for what you guys do for my channel. I say it all the time. I feel like you guys and girls are too good to me, and I'm so thankful for what you've made my channel. And the fact that you can listen to some loudmouth Italian rant and rave about the Giants for hours at a time is amazing that you have that tolerance. So shout out to all you guys and girls. And like I said, man, if you guys liked that video, share that thing. Share it with everybody you know. Try to blow it up. Try to get whatever, 50, 60,000 views on that thing. And maybe somebody sees it. Who the hell knows? I don't know. Ninja Man, thank you, brother. Really appreciate the super chat, man. Thanks so much. He says, Joe Judge went on an interview and said, I was proud of the performance. We capitalized on a lot of our opportunities. Made a lot of good decisions. What are you talking about, Joe? When do we actually capitalize on opportunities? It's comedy. His pressers are comedy. I don't know, because do we ever even have do we even have opportunities to capitalize on? Do we even have them? Do we even have opportunities to capitalize on? Oh, I just noticed something. I just noticed Afghanistan. I said that Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram wasn't bad that day. Another guy that we brought in, paid $12 million for, was Kyle Rudolph. What in the hell has Kyle Rudolph done? How can you spend over $100 million on free agents and be worse than you were last year when you won 6 games? How? Anyway, if I didn't have to work in the morning, I would stay later, but I do have to work. So 5:30 comes early in the morning. It's Monday. Mondays are the worst. The worst. But I do appreciate you guys and girls being there. Again, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And like I said, I'll probably have a video tomorrow just talking about the state of just something. Like I said, normally I do the video where I just go crazy, and then I kind of calm down, and I try to talk as sanely as I possibly can. Chris, man, welcome back to the Dog Pound, brother. I appreciate you coming back. Dog Pound members, welcome Chris Knight back in the Dog Pound. Who? My man Chris. So I always look at that and I say to myself, I'm like, I'm always like, that's the guy that I wanted a foxhole with me right there. Chris Knight ain't taking no BS from anybody. I always see that and go, I want that guy on my side. All right. Let me get out of here. Again, guys and girls, thank you so much. And hopefully I see you soon. No Lakers tomorrow. So no streaming. We're going to take a night off tomorrow. Then I'll be back for the Lakers on Tuesday. I have a round table with Louis T, Lord Brunson, and Law Nation Wednesday. That's not going to be on my channel, but I'll let you know what channel it's going to be on. Come over and represent Big Blue. Thursday, the Lakers play again. And I think Friday and then Saturday, I think we'll do the Giants show. Got to figure it out. But I think Monday's the only night that I get off this week. So I'm going to take the night off tomorrow. And I will see you guys and girls on Tuesday. Thank you for hanging out. Bad digga dizzle. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, everybody. Enjoy